One. Live.
All right, how's everybody doing? This is Cheech from the Cheech and Manny Show, and we have a great show today. It is the best debut rock albums. We're going to do our top 10 best debut. Oh, it doesn't have to be rock, okay? For it's going to be rock, but for me, it might be some other stuff too.
Come
This day,
on, man. Wait, hold on. Keep it rock, man. We're here to sing
uh,
rock and roll. We're on a
no.
mission.
Oh no, but
Yo, we're on a mission. We've been sent by God. Blues
we have
Brothers.
them.
Blues Brothers reference.
So it's the best debut albums to come out in rock, with the exception of one guy on my list. Anyway, I'm gonna hand you over to Manor. How are you, Manny?
Cheech, man. Life is good. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, hanging in there. The fun days at the temple. Congratulations to our boy Leslie,
Oh, yes. Leslie, if
who
you're,
is now a
I wanted you to watch the debut rock albums list, but yeah, if you're watching, shout out to you, Leslie. Congrats,
uh,
brother.
he's a priest, but he's a good priest. He's now a priest.
He's there to rescue the priesthood.
And I'd like to give a shout out to my niece Jane. It's her birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Jane. I
birthday.
love you. 23. God, I feel old. And we have our special guest, Mr. Silky Joe, is with us.
Mr. Joe Silkman, legendary
The
guest has
legendary,
returned.
legendary guest, man. How's it going? How's it going, Joe? Not
It's
even
going
a,
well. I guess let's say I guess I could share with the group that the Carramore Music Center just opened up their ticket office for their summer concerts. I know it's a lot of upscale stuff, but my wife and I are going to go see Bruce Hornsby, who a lot of people might remember as being very popular in the mid '80s, and was also a keyboardist for the Grateful Dead.
yeah,
And
he's
he'll be
fantastic.
performing in a very intimate setting in Carramore, which is a beautiful place in Katona, New York, to visit. Uh, Lovely walking grounds, artwork. Yeah, it's a great place, and that's my
The,
hometown. So
the
going back,
way the way it is. What a song.
yeah,
The way he added that like jazz piano, those little fills and stuff. Just
very
that
nice.
there was so many like different songs. Me and Manny were just having this full-blown conversation about music of the 90s and stuff. He was like late 80s, right?
Yeah, he was like, uh, yeah, definitely late 80s. I know that piano line, a lot of young people know it. And let me see,
Yeah.
let me give you a pop quiz. Why do you think young people would know that piano line from the way it is?
It was sampled in a rap song.
It was sampled
She was
by
like Tupac.
sampled in Tupac changes.
Yeah.
And so it became very
Yeah.
popular,
Yeah.
unconsciously with a lot of people. But yeah, that album is really good. Bruce
Oh
Hornsby's like
yeah.
a he's in very like he created one of the best piano riffs, which is
Oh
kind of
yeah.
interesting to do.
Amazing, amazing. And there was just like I can't think of their names. I could see their albums on the top of my head. Like, I mean, I'm gonna say Kenny G or Michael Bolton, people like that that were just like, I always liked them. They were different, like especially Kenny G. He had a unique kind of he was a jazz pop artist. Who's the guitar player? There was another guitar player that was around that era, and I can't think of his name.
Oh, is it Eric? Did he have the song Cliffs of Dover?
No, no, Eric Johnson. No, that would have been more
Eric Johnson.
rock.
He was
And I'm saying,
fantastic.
oh, he's no joke.
Dude, yeah, talk about a genius album and
Yeah.
song.
Now I'm thinking of another guy. He was
Was he an
really cool.
instrumentalist or was he a singer as well
He
as a
was a
guitar?
singer and a guitar player. He had a very clean
Jeff,
sound.
it wasn't Jeff Buckley, right?
Well,
No,
George Benson was very popular back then.
it was like he was like a George Benson.
Uh,
I can't. I don't know. I
and then
should
there
be
was another
fast.
guy, I think his name was Stanley Jordan, who had an interesting tapping technique on the neck.
Oh yeah. Well, Stanley
And
Jordan. He was the '80s though.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Jeff Healy might have been the late '80s as well.
Oh, Jeff Haley was great. He was like
Yeah,
Stanley Jordan, but rock. The way he played, he
Right.
played the guitar like a piano. Jeff Haley was crazy. I saw him at Playland. Oh my God, was he good?
I saw him at Lake Compounds open for Bonnie Raitt. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
That's
very
awesome.
good musician. Of
the
course, we all
fun.
remember him from the Roadhouse movie with Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, I remember at Playland when he was playing. The sound guy said, "Jeff, you want me to move the mic stand? Is it in your way?" He's like, "I'm blind. I can't see it. It doesn't matter." You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
That was great. But yeah,
Um,
but Joe, thanks, man. And if we're out there, yeah, I think Cheech and I might have to go out there to Katona one day.
Definitely, you know.
Joe's hometown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Another artist that's playing there that I've mentioned before, I think on the program, is Patty Griffin, singer-songwriter who has her own career, but for a couple of years was in Robert Plant's Band of Joy.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Nice.
very, very talented singer-songwriter.
Very cool.
Go check it out. And I know that's gonna in our future post Zeppelin episode, that's gonna be brought up.
Oh
Our
yeah.
past projects, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna start writing some Stormcock and the Firm's first album. I can't wait to write that one. That because like I'm more Joe, don't hate me. I'm more of a Firm fan than Plant solo stuff in the 80s. You know, I gravitate towards Jimmy's stuff more than Plant stuff. Like the stuff he did with Jason. But what was that? What was that album called with Jason Bonham?
Oh, Outrider,
Outrider. I love that album.
1988, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that album. So good.
yeah.
But yeah, so let's dive into.
And I guess for our audience out there, we're gonna be looking at the greatest debut, and mostly in rock genre. I know we might veer off a little bit to the fringes, but the greatest debuts according to Cheech, Joe, and Manny. So again,
Yeah.
not saying like these should be it. These are the greatest debuts of all
Yeah.
time. And yeah, I'll let my friend Cheech here guide us. Cheech, where do you want to start? The greatest
So
debuts.
I have kind of an outline, and then I have a criteria
Hmm.
that needs to go with the greatest debut. Um, so a great debut album showcases an artist's vision, raw intensity, and defines a new sound. This is important. It's from years of pre-fame songwriting and live performances. So basically, years of playing the clubs and fine tuning these songs. Key factors are emotional honesty, collective impact, and musical identity. It
Hmm.
revolutionized and is complete. It's a revolutionary and is completely different than the current music landscape. So it has to be so different than what's going on in the music landscape. Um, it's fearless energy and hunger that can really be captured once the artist becomes famous. And that's what I like. Like you never could become your first album again. Like once you do that first album, then you got a sound and you'll never recapture that first album sound again. Um, so most use different recording techniques to capture a brand new sound. So they use the techniques of say the 80s or the new analog going to digital sounds of the late 70s. It sounds like nothing that's ever been before its time. Okay. Um, it's an artist calling card. It defines their sound, identity, creativity, intent to the world. It must have, now this is just my opinion. You guys could agree or disagree, or it must have 3 to 5 songs that stand out most of the time. Most of the time, it's self-titled and it has memorable artwork, except for the U2 album. um, most rock groups, fit into this criteria that have a successful debut album. So before I get into my list of the criteria, how do you guys feel about what I just said?
Joe, what do you think?
Raw intensity, you said
Yeah,
is one of the three criteria with
yeah,
vision.
That one I might push you back on, Cheech.
Raw intensity, so not polished in production.
sure. Yeah, some of them. If you think about Zeppelin 1 compared to say Presence, it's pretty raw. You know what I mean?
No,
Okay.
but that was that a criteria for like debut? it can be raw, but I feel like it can be polished too and like really well produced.
Yeah, I mean, these are just things I came up with. It doesn't it's selective for
So
each band.
so it sounds like for you, a great debut has a raw, unpolished sound.
Yeah, pretty much.
So for me, that doesn't matter for me.
Well,
That,
think about Maiden. Maiden's first one. It's pretty raw. You know
but
what I
but
mean?
I feel like that doesn't make it. That's not the reason why it's a great debut, though.
No, no, no. The songs make it a great debut. The musicians make it a great debut. I think it's an element that goes into it.
All right,
I
that's
mean,
Yeah.
interesting.
So, like, how would that little band from Massachusetts, that, in my opinion, has a
well,
very highly
no,
polished sound?
that's different. Like I said, it depends on the band. You know what I mean? It depends on the band.
If I can modify it, I feel like it's like they're making a statement. I feel like
Yeah,
with the debut, it's a statement. Here's the band. It doesn't matter if it's raw, it doesn't matter if it's polished, it doesn't matter if
yeah,
it's well produced or not well produced. That's because that doesn't matter. It's like they're here and they make a statement straight off the first album. And I would
yeah.
argue all songs have to be killer. There should be no
Well,
filler,
I
my opinion.
think.
Because otherwise, it's not a great debut. Because then it doesn't really make it a great debut. Like there are a
Oh,
lot
I
of
know.
debuts,
I agree.
but I feel like that's my opinion. But all killer, no filler. Like
I think it gets better with production when I say raw. You know what I mean? Like it'll be a raw sound. Like Maiden is a good example
all right,
from the
but
first
not all
album.
debuts have that though. I feel like most great debuts, like Please Please Me, the Beatles, is well
Yeah.
produced.
But it
Yep.
gets better. It gets better produced as they develop. You know what I
No,
mean?
of course, but that doesn't,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I don't think that doesn't matter for a debut. For me, that doesn't matter
Yeah.
for a debut. It
Yeah.
can be raw, it can be polished, it can be like, you know, whatever.
It depends on the. It really depends on the band and the album you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's why it's hard to say what's right and what's wrong. It depends on the band. I think. But all right, let me know what you think about these.
Hmm.
Um, it has to have number one. This is what I came up with. A distinctive sound. How do you feel about that?
Oh, absolutely.
Has to, yeah, in my opinion. Otherwise, it'll be like among the million of other bands or whatever.
Right. Okay.
That's a good one.
They have they have their entire life to write their first album and cultivate their sound. How do you feel about that?
Wait,
Is
so
that
they
why
had,
the second album is so hard to do for a lot of these artists?
Right. So you spend years in the
so
clubs cultivating that
it,
sound.
so it's like a lifetime's work or a lifetime achievement in one album. They put all their energy.
Exactly.
And to Joe's point, that's why a lot they struggle with their second. A few, but
Yeah.
okay, I like that. Yeah, there's it's
You
a
like that? Okay.
lot of lifetime work in that. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is going to go against what I just said, but great production and
Yeah.
sound.
I was gonna say so that's a Cheech thing. You think a great debut is raw, I feel like your
Well,
opinion.
on some of them,
See, I'm
you
gonna
know,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. See, I don't agree with like yes, a debut can be raw, but if it's raw, it runs the risk of being like not a great debut sometimes.
right,
Um, which is one of the reasons why I know you're not gonna like me, but that's why Rush is not on my list of greatest. Even though I love
right.
Rush,
Okay,
I'm not saying
Rush.
they're raw. Now, by the way, I'm not saying they're raw. I'm saying like they're missing something. And I love the first Iron Maiden album, but not on my list.
But so that's what I mean. Like Rush's debut album is pretty. It's raw. It's like it's live. Sabbath. Sabbath is a great example. Like it's not overproduced. The first album, when you listen to like the Warning and stuff, you could kind of hear the
Right,
rawness of it. And Maiden, but that's not. That's just only for the ones on say my list. You know what I mean?
right. But is that fair to assume like you think like the rawness makes it for like
For some of the bands, I think for
okay,
me.
okay.
But not for you or not for Joe. It's not it's an opinion, I think,
Yeah.
if
I think
anything.
production, I don't know if you two agree. I think production is really important. Like I
Well,
don't
I mean, when we get into the greatest debut album of all time, it has the greatest production,
yeah.
which we
Yeah.
won't say its name, but we all know what that is. So okay, how do you feel about this?
Mhm.
This could be controversial, but on my list, at least two out of the group is an innovator, and it could be, I mean, at least two members out of the group are innovators at what they do. And that could be the singer, the drummer, the bass player, the guitar player. They're doing something that nobody else is doing. One or two.
Hmm.
It might not work for what's on your list, but I think from a bunch of mine, it fits the criteria. I don't know. Joe, I think, might agree with that.
You have to have more than one
Um,
visionary, unique artist. I don't know.
um, no, like somebody who is exceptional at their instrument or an exceptional singer.
Okay.
Does that work? It could
What
be
if one person is adept at both
then
singing
that
and instrument?
then it works.
All right. So
Okay.
debut has to be exceptionality
Yeah, they have to have like somebody in the band that's just really exceptional or unique, a
or a
unique
couple of
vocal.
them, or at least minimum for you is two or one.
One or two. It
Hmm.
doesn't
Well,
have to
yes,
be.
one. Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Groundbreaking.
one
Innovative.
person. I mean, I have so many artists.
Hmm.
I have so many bands
I,
that.
Teacher, I like that. I think I agree with that. I feel like if there's a genius, even better. But there has to be two exceptional, or he can be a solo, like like for example, like a Bob Dylan, certain songwriter and guitar player. But
Exactly, but he's
yeah,
got to be
I
exceptional.
love that because in that break that can get rid of a lot of albums because there should be exceptionality, so exceptional in a level of uniqueness that, like you said, was not seen before in the music or rock landscape,
Right.
right? It's a statement piece, and so
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think of an artist that is not only a great singer or instrumentalist, but also played a major role in the production of the album behind the scenes? I think that should
So
count. So they could be great at their instrument, or they could be unique, you know, in their own way on the record. But then they're also the producer of it.
that works. That definitely works. Jimmy Page would be an example of that.
That's exactly Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
He's the
I
guy.
mean, Jimmy Page is pretty much who I'm talking about. You
And
know what I
Tom
mean?
Schultz. No, and Tom Schultz. But I will say that
Tom
will
Schultz.
then towards the end, I'll have a question for you guys. What could be the greatest debut then? And that's the case because that's levels of if the guy's like a Jimmy Page, guitarist, production
Songwriter.
master, songwriter as well, along with Robert Plant, but this then can make the case that this is probably one of the just because of that criteria alone, like the production handled by this member that plays guitar, on
Yeah.
top of him being a genius
Yeah.
innovative guitar player.
But
Well,
it's not every, this is just something I'm throwing out there.
right.
You know what I mean? This necessarily doesn't have to be for it, but
Yeah.
there has to be one distinctive thing in the band. Whether
Mm.
it's a guitar player, most of the time it's the singer. 99, 90% of the time it's probably the singer, right? I think. I don't know. So five, using the studio to create a new production that sounds brand new. Going against my original statement.
Yeah. I feel like the studio mastery because that's what makes it. I well produced. I feel like is an important thing for a debut. My opinion.
No, I
In all
agree.
cases, I feel like some bands like the rawness. That's all. Again, could play in the band's favor.
Yeah,
We talked about it in the punk episode, so of course,
yeah,
and heavy metal.
yeah.
I feel like the greatest debuts have studio wizardry and production. They're production
Mhm.
masters and great producers as well.
Oh, of course, of course. Okay. Um. So, perfect timing. Right when the music scene needs something new, the debut album comes out. So when there's a break in the music industry and there's like things are dying, for instance, the end of the late 70s, the middle 70s when art rock was dying and a new sound comes out. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you guys? There's got to be that. perfect time where the band could slide in and it's a brand new like sound.
Yeah. Right place, right time.
Right place at the right time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Um,
the music and it's the music scene is changing. You know what I mean? It's like it's just it's like a new change. How do you feel about that, Manny?
yeah, I like it. Timing. I think
Yeah.
that's an important factor.
Yeah. Yeah, almost perfect timing. I have okay, this could be controversial. Must have 3 to 5 hits on the album, or for some could be just one, but 3 to 5 hits minimum.
Does a debut need hits to make it a great debut?
At least three.
I think it has to have at least two.
Right.
Very
Well,
rarely do you see albums have three that get a lot of radio airplay outside
right.
of Michael Jackson.
Right.
Minimum is three on my list,
All
I
right.
think.
Okay, then that's interesting. Well, minimum three is high though, because then that would like I'll hold you to that. I'll be like, where's the third hit?
I'm
And
gonna
how
all
high are we
right.
talking about? Like top 10? Like or how high? Or Billboard, at least it cracked the Billboard or
I'm talking radio. This is like radio.
radio.
I'm talking radio, you
Okay.
know. I don't want to give away the bands yet, but like
Well,
every
I will
one of my
say I would push back on that slightly because I feel like great debut sometimes they don't have any hits, but they're amazing. They're just albums that were misunderstood. But for example, let me give you an example. I'm kind of going off and maybe or maybe not adding Bruce Springsteen's debut album. There was
right.
one slight hit, but it wasn't. But that debut is good. Like
Yeah.
it's great.
Right.
Even though
Right.
and going back to your raw point, it has a raw sound to it, which in
Yeah.
my opinion then kills it for me. Kind of
Right.
too raw for its own good, but that debut is still good, but it has no hits. So what do you think about that?
It really depends. It depends on the band we're talking about, you know. So like Bruce Springsteen, he's raw, but he has no hits. He's developing. He's different because he's developing a sound.
Mm,
You know what's to come.
mm,
You could say maybe Billy Joel's first album too. You know what I mean? I think he didn't have a lot. Did he have a ton of hits on his very first album?
I think so. Barely made a splash, I think.
Right. So those guys were just developing.
Mm,
So a first album could be like your practice.
mm.
You know.
Okay, so that criteria is high then. So it must have a minimum two hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On my list, I say three, but because
Well,
yeah,
you got to remember that it's the record labels that are going to control the spacing and the timing and the releasing of singles to keep that album on the charts
that's
back
true
in the
too.
day.
Yeah.
So, it's like it was really the record executives that I think controlled and manipulated the listeners,
Yeah.
and they
And
like,
and
yeah,
the
they're
deep
based on the
and
sales. It's like, oh, should we release another single, push it on the radio?
but here's another thing. Not only record
Wait,
people.
do Iron Maiden? I don't think that the debut didn't have any hit singles.
Uh, it had about two. It had
You
two.
sure?
Sanctuary and Running Free. Like they made it into the top, chart. It charted
Okay.
in England, you know. I'm not saying top 10, but they get two.
I
But
agree with Joe, but what do you think of Joe's point? It is kind of controlled, so you gotta be careful.
but there's somebody else that's controlling it too back in the day. That guy had a lot of power. The DJ, the radio. The DJ back then could pick and choose what songs he wants to play off your album. So, for instance, Edgar Winter, the song Frankenstein,
Hmm.
that's a B-side. The
Right.
DJ just happened to play it and it became a hit.
Right.
So, back to a certain degree, the DJs could pick and choose what they want on the album.
It's interesting. I feel like that could be a discussion point for each debut. Like that's good. Like the
You know?
hits, does it matter, not matter? So as we explore each album, we can look at that.
Yeah, so like the record label, like Joe said, 100% true. They're gonna put your single, they're gonna promote it, but the DJ could say, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm gonna hang out and call my girlfriend, so I'm gonna put Stairway to Heaven on. Let's see how this does. from Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? And it becomes an automatic hit because that wasn't a
I,
single.
I feel as though that for me personally, like it's critically for me, that doesn't matter to me. I feel like debuts have to stand on their own, regardless of whether they're hits or not. Like that's gonna be an
Right.
important factor to me because it's like a painting that's not popping in its time. No one wants it. And yet
Yeah.
now it's hung in like in the MoMA, Museum of Modern Art in New York, for example. Now
Right.
you see, but if you knew art back then, you know that this is timeless. Like
Right.
that doesn't, for me, the hits, if it had hits, great, awesome. That means the record company did their job. And some DJ wanted, multiple bathroom breaks to call his girlfriend,
Yeah.
great, helps the album. But for me, that doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. So where am I? Uh, um. So the artists are writing music for themselves, not for a target audience yet. How do you feel about that?
Hmm.
What do you think, Manny?
Hmm. So an artist is writing music for themselves, not for an
Yeah.
art
The
agency.
writing what they want. They're doing the music that they want. And then once they become famous,
I like
they
that. And that's another interesting discussion point if time allows to see their trajectory like if they like, another problem is that their debut is so amazing, but then because they're trying to sell records and please the masses, they never again
well, that's the thing. You never
that's a
recreate
great
your first
discussion
album.
point. Yeah, that's a good discussion point in terms
Yeah.
of like looking at these debuts.
Yeah, you never recreate your first album. It never happened. You can't. It's a once
Glittering prizes and endless compromises ruin
exactly.
the
You know.
integrity. So as
Yeah.
Rush thing and
And to bring up Rush, like who made Rush? A DJ in Cleveland.
yep.
So they happened to play Working Man, and everybody called or Finding My Way, and everyone called up. And what did they say it was, Joe? What did they think it was?
They thought it was the new Led Zeppelin single.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So
Uh,
DJ, going back to the DJ, they had a huge role on making bands. In your particular town or city, Rush. So when Rush's album came out, Cleveland loved them, and they went, "Hello, Cleveland," like Spinal Tap, and they went to Cleveland
right.
to play. You know, so Pockets in America made bands too. That was another big thing by the radio station.
Right.
Okay.
Radio.
So you like that? You like that concept that I just said?
And it'll be like a good talking point with each debut.
Okay. Um, they write with more confidence because they have nothing to lose or to compare it to. How do you feel about that?
I can see that. I can see that. Right. Because, they put their heart and souls or they have that attitude. Well, I got nothing to lose. So, I got a record deal. Let's take
Mhm.
advantage. Let's pour all this
Exactly.
money into it.
Right. Yeah, some of these questions I kind of, really thought out, to like put into their
Those are good discussion points, like,
yeah.
that we can kind of see or bring
Yeah.
up.
Um you can hear their sound develop on the album. It only happens once. You hear a band in the infancy stages, and you only hear that one time. After that, the second album, it's a different, almost a different sound, a different production. How do you feel about that?
You got to remember, bands always want to sound different anyway and grow. I mean, look at Led Zeppelin. They had to fight with Atlantic Records about, the fact that they didn't want Led Zeppelin 2 to be, like exactly the same as Led Zeppelin 1.
Mhm.
Right.
They didn't want to get pigeonholed by the Whole Lot of Love thing. Well, where's Whole Lot of Love 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
That's what Atlantic wanted. And
Yeah.
fortunately, Zeppelin had the creative control that they could
Right.
just say no. Other bands couldn't.
But you can hear the band develop on their first album, I think. If they're like Zeppelin, you can kind of hear where they're headed into the future, or Jimi
Yeah,
Hendrix or something.
play
Yeah.
devil's advocate, but I feel like some debuts though, they're already there. There's no sound of a band. There's some, but
Mhm.
honestly, if you put on Zeppelin 1, dude,
Yeah.
this album sounds like a band that knows what they're doing. I
Yeah.
mean, with the blues, especially with the blues,
Oh
Joe,
yeah. Oh,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
So even though I know they stole a lot, and not give
Yeah.
credit, but
I
still,
mean, these are just food for thought kind of thing.
yeah,
You know, kind
it's
of.
worth considering. Yeah, seeing like the album like set a track list and see is
Yeah.
this a band you
Like that.
swear.
This question, like you can hear the sound develop on the album. That might not work for Zeppelin, but it might work for another band. You know what I mean? Another debut album. You know.
I think you know one.
Um.
Give an example for your point, and we'll talk. I'm not sure if this is a one on your list. Pink Floyd's "Piper at the Gates of Dawn" is an excellent example of what you just said, where
Right.
you hear the band in its infancy stage developing the sounds on that album.
Right.
Like you don't need to listen to Dark Side, not yet, even though Dark Side is amazing, but I can see what you mean. And actually, another example, maybe to that point, is "Please Please Me" by the Beatles, where you see
Yes.
them in that same album, like gestation. There's like a gestation infancy stage.
Right. That's a good
Magic. It's
example.
dynamic. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, not it might be not a total criteria, but definitely something to talk about.
Like this is all every album is this does not apply. I'm not saying this applies to every single
Right. No,
debut album. This is
it's just
just this is
criteria
what
talking points. Yeah,
I think this one might apply, and I think you guys might agree. Artwork is very important on a debut album.
I agree.
Joe?
Not now.
Well, and
But you're
when
talking about in the past, like during the LP, like
when when they
30 seconds.
made when they made good music
I
back
wonder if
in
it
the
matters now. It's funny as an aside, not to go give it too much detail. I was teaching some music to students and posted the
Mhm.
album artwork. Dude, no one cared. And
Yeah.
I left the PowerPoint slide. Guys, album artwork is up there. Check it out.
Yeah.
No one cared. Sad, but I guess for our show purposes, it does matter because a lot of these debut albums did have amazing artwork.
Oh yeah.
It's the statement piece. It's like you want to. I feel like the artwork matters even more. You know?
I mean, what I grew up with was the out and Joe too. You might have even been Manny, you might have been a little too young, but you did know, you had CDs. So there's still art,
Mhm.
mini artwork. So
Mhm.
you would look at it. Now an album is different because you're looking at actual art. When you looked at, I don't know, like Maiden's first album, you're just like you're seeing all the details in the back. There's a city, there's Eddie looking at you. You know what I mean? Like the street lights and stuff.
Right.
So,
Right. That's a
so
great
I
point. And even like albums like I just mentioned, Piper at the Gates of Dawn, the kaleidoscope imagery.
oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
imagine seeing that, or the Beatles, Please Please Me, seeing these four boys, and you're like, what's this?
Oh, that's a great cover. You know what I
And that's
mean?
a
It's
no,
like
a photograph. I
yeah,
love how they're staring down, right? Like it's kind of really fascinating. And then the Doors debut, yeah. Look at Joe's holding up like rock covers. So you
It's an
got,
entire book. It's a coffee table book of
oh,
rock covers.
dude, that is so cool.
no.
Yeah.
Look at each one. For an
Sick.
example,
That's
hold
so
it up.
cool, Joe.
Hold it up, Joe. For if you could for a
Hold up an
second.
example.
Well, yeah, like
Open
or
up an example, yeah. I mean, I hopefully young people are watching this episode so they can see like gotta make
Let
that a comeback. It's a
me
total
find one.
statement
Oh,
piece.
uh, wow. It's a lot of really okay. Great. Hey, here's one of with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
great cover. Look at that. Look at the
It's
artwork.
it's like I grab him like what's this? Like it makes me want to
So
pick it up and like
yeah,
Yeah.
look at it.
somebody spent a lot of time and
Yeah.
effort
Yep.
doing that, and
It was a whole
the band too had a lot of input on what they wanted on the album.
that is a great point you made. A lot of time and effort goes into the cover. Like,
Yeah.
even it's just sad how that's kind of like
All
irrelevant.
right, I'm going to say something right now. Led Zeppelin.
Joe has Patti Smith's iconic photograph.
I'm going to say something right now. Right,
Yeah. Patty Smith.
subconscious thing. psychology, right, Manny? Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin 4. What do you think of?
The album cover?
I'm just when I say Led Zeppelin 4, what do you think of?
Oh, the album, that cover.
Right, right, exactly,
Iconic.
right.
Imprinted, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast.
Yeah. Yo,
So,
the puppet strings.
so there's a psychological thing it has on
Dude,
it's
let me give you,
imprinted.
dude, the Beatles, Abbey Road, talk about iconic. Like, I always think of the Beatles walking on Abbey Road, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. That's a good point. Even like Zeppelin's Are You Experienced, I think of that, album cover where it's sort of like
Uh,
very
uh,
psychedelic globe, right?
oh, you
There's
mean Jimi Hendrix?
what I say?
Zeppelin.
Sorry. See that? Oh, Freudian slip. That's what's on my mind. Um,
Oh yeah, Are You Experienced? He's got the green hands. It's like
dude, yeah,
creepy.
I love
Yeah,
it. Like it's
yeah,
so great. Cream, the
yeah.
Israeli gears. What do I
Oh,
think of?
forget about it.
You like,
That's psychedelic.
yeah, man. Like, yeah,
So we
there's
we
a
grew up.
psychological aspect to it.
It
Yeah.
stays with you with the music.
Oh, look at that. Look at Joe's screen.
I mean, I can't say.
Black Sabbath first album.
Oh God, forget about it.
That album cover is a horror movie in art form. Like
Oh yeah.
it, it's so great. And actually, when I was young, I thought that was Ozzy Osbourne.
And that's a picture. That's not an artwork. They
Right.
actually took a
Right.
picture of a
Right.
creepy lady in England somewhere.
It looks like a horror movie poster. Like a horror
Yeah,
movie is about to happen. And because I love Number of the Beast, I love that album cover. It's like
it's
iconic.
genius.
It's like evil. It's great. I can see like pop out of the my obviously I don't have the album, but I was like looking at like the Apple Music albums, and what's really cool though, and I hope maybe this could be the future, how artwork on Apple Music. I don't know if you two stream Apple Music or whatever. I don't know if Spotify does this, but they do this weird animations on these albums. I
It
don't know if you guys
really
seen it.
like the AI it.
I don't know if it's AI, but or graphic designer does it, but it's really cool. I feel like that could be the future where the art moves and is dynamic.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool.
I,
I've seen that.
I
You
feel like
know,
that could be something. And maybe I can pull up an example. I mean, I don't know if you can see it or whatever.
but I think
Let me give you an example. Look at this. So I'm gonna put up YouTube's not debut, but just I don't know if it moves. I don't know if you see it. See?
okay.
So that could be the future, like in terms of using AI and technology and get really innovative. Because now we do have a lot of tech, but yeah, but will it matter? Yeah, I don't know.
But when you think about back in the day, the artwork, the artist, people knew his name, Derek Riggs from Iron Maiden. They were like, oh, Hugh Symes from Rush. I forget the guy's name, but the
Klaus
guy from
Vorman.
the Beatles. He did that White album, right?
Genius. White and just the Beatles.
And then the guy who did Yes's stuff,
Mhm.
or there's a great southern rock band called Molly Hatchet, and you look at that artwork, oh my God, it's
Hy-
beautiful.
Hypnosis that did Pink Floyd and Zeppelin stuff.
So Hypnosis, so this stuff was people knew they were a part of the music
Mhm.
scene. They were in that culture. Now, whoever did, Taylor Swift's new album, does anyone give a shit that that person got paid a lot of money but put all the work into it and it's probably real professional and whatever, but they don't nobody kids don't care anymore, you know I don't know. So how do you feel about my list? Are those okay questions? Are they okay criteria?
Yeah. Good discussion points.
Yeah, and we'll bring, if you can remember them, we'll bring them up on our lists.
Well, it's helpful for the audience to see why we would pick these. Like even
Yeah,
if we don't bring them up subconsciously, this is why we pick them, though.
yeah, exactly. So who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Manny.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'll be quick because I talk too much, and I'd rather like hear your guys' list. But we're doing top 10, right? Cheech.
I have more, but
All right.
if let's stick with top 10, and then
All right.
just like
Let me
then
let
you
me
could then you could just blurb out like, this would have been 11, 12, or
Right.
13,
Well, I guess the young guy will just like go quick, but
All right.
Led
Well, do you
Zepp,
want to do what we did before and like, no ranking, and at the end we rank them?
yeah,
No
You could do that.
ranking, just
you
going to
think about it.
present
We can
them,
do that. Yeah.
free form,
Let,
and then
let,
at the
let,
end we'll rank it.
let me just throw it out there then. Led Zeppelin one, amazing. I got George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. That's an insane debut. Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? I have actually I put this one on Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction, and I have my reason why, but uh that's let me count it. That's one, two, three, four. All right. So the Beatles, Please Please Me. I have uh let's see right here. I have okay, so that's it. I have the um music from Big Pink.
Oh, oh, that's a good one. The
Yeah, that's
band.
my favorite debut. I think
I didn't
that's
even think about that one.
very next one, The Velvet Underground and Nico. Um I have also the let's see if I'm just looking at my notes, seeing like King Crimson in the Court of the Crimson King.
Good one.
Yep. I have the Birds. Love the Birds debut is iconic for the because it inspired both kind of like
Mr. Tambourine Man.
yes, yes. But the whole album is
Yeah,
iconic.
and I would say what makes that album special is Rickenbacker guitars.
Oh,
Like
I was
that.
gonna say the 12 string, yeah.
Yeah.
Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu. Um
Okay, hold that thought. Now, me and Joe had a little discussion about that. Me and Joe agreed on this. Is that a debut album or is it
I,
not a debut album?
I think it is for the super group, so I do
I,
kind of.
I think it's a debut album.
Yeah.
And Joe, you agree too, right?
I considered it a debut album because it's the first album with them as a quartet.
Right, right,
But Crosby,
Yeah.
Stills, and Nash had already done an album previously,
Yep.
you
right.
know.
Yep.
But they brought in Young, and he's the secret sauce of that group. I'm telling you, he's our guy.
Oh, yeah. Neil Young added something, and I would even argue Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I didn't put him on, but that I count that as a debut, as a
I
trick.
do, I do too. And it's a trick question. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Well, if you think about it, probably the debuts by the Byrds and Buffalo Springfield would do a better job of meeting Cheech's criteria
right,
than Deja Vu, which is
right,
like a continuation of what was going on with the Byrds,
right,
Springfield, maybe
right.
even the Hollies.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
points. Yeah.
And that would kind of like with using Cheech's criteria, then that would knock. First of all, then that means the supergroup album debuts don't count, and we would have to go there. Anyway, just Cheech, just food for thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And don't forget, probably if there was no CSN and Y, there might not have been an Eagles because I always thought Joe Walsh was the secret sauce of the Eagles.
Of course.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Okay, I think that was 10. Honorable mentions, I got Pearl Jam's 10. I got The Strokes, Is This It? So I'm gonna take it more modern.
That's a great album.
I got The Killers, Hot Stuff as well. One of my underground favorites is Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures. I love that album. I have The Smiths as well, their debut.
Great
Um,
debut.
I don't know how you feel about this, but Boston also honorable mention. And even though they should, when I ranked them, obviously it's gonna go higher. Um, and I got one more Boston, and Van Halen's Hotel debut.
Hit, man.
Can't beat it.
Those are great. Those are great picks.
Oh, I got one more honorable mention for 2006's Arctic Monkeys. Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. Fantastic as well.
Cool. Great picks, man.
All right, I'll go next.
Good,
Uh,
Joe.
no particular order, but definitely the Van Halen album, the first album.
Oh yeah.
It exploded
Yeah.
out of the speakers, and I had never heard anything like it. Unbelievable. Of course, the first Led Zeppelin album. Got to have that.
Now, now those two albums fit my criteria for musicians because you have Led Zeppelin, all four are just monsters, and Van Halen is introducing the new guitar player that's going to change guitar
Yeah.
forever.
Redefined guitar rock.
with the greatest frontman of the '80s, David Lee Roth. So that's a little that's what I'm talking about with debut albums and
Wait, I,
criteria.
I got a hot take. Is David Lee Roth the greatest frontman though? What do you think?
And oh man, in the early '80s, oh yeah, when he came out, dude, oh he was insane. I don't know, Joe, how do
Yeah.
you feel
How
about
does he
it?
compare to like the likes of Freddie Mercury and like
Well,
Robert Plant?
there's a difference between it like a front man and an entertainer than like a great singer. David Lee Roth was not a great singer compared to Freddie Mercury, but as a showman, David Lee Roth was doing splits, coming out like a live aid with assless pants on, Duke
Right.
running around the stage. I mean, he
Now,
he was he was
you had
great.
charisma, but I'll be honest, but devil's advocate, if you just listen to the albums though,
Yeah.
um, what do you think about that? Like if you never saw him live.
His voice was meant to sing in Van Halen.
All right, all right.
I think the guys from Motley Crue and Poison were taking a lot of notes watching Van Halen.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I'm like teasing Cheech. I think the influence on Roth is there. And
Yeah, what he did for the eight, you got to understand, Van Halen's first album came out in '78, but it was the precursor to metal that was
yeah.
about to come.
Yeah, no, that debut, dude, it's a game changer. It literally I argue nothing was seen like it
Yeah,
since Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced?
I agree a hundred
Because it
percent.
is a game-changing album and you won't see I mean, I'm being kind of too broad. You won't see it again until Nirvana's Nevermind. These
Well, well,
game-changing albums.
as far as now the difference between Nevermind and Nevermind is a great album, but the difference between that is you have Jimi Hendrix who comes out and innovates the
But
guitar
Kurt
forever.
Cobain, critically, I'm telling you right now, he is considered an innovator. And I have to agree because what he did was he sort of he was a genius on the guitar, believe me. Like even though like again, you may not be
Not a technic, not okay. He's a great guitar player, but he didn't change guitar
no,
like
you know what he
like.
did? You know what it is? He deconstructed the guitar solo. That he was a
Right, that's a
deconstruction.
good. That's a good. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. So Van Halen, Mozart, Jimi Hendrix, he was all about yeah, literally like he was like pushing the
Yeah,
guitar electric to its limit. Van Halen, Mozart, and then Cobain, the deconstructionist, where he deconstructed the guitar,
minimalist.
which made him a genius because he could play, except he
Yeah,
chose not to. He was like, I'm gonna.
right. But the thing I love about Hendrix is Hendrix came out and he invented this new guitar
Yep,
sound,
yep, yep.
and everybody was kind of like, and Clapton loved him, Page loved him. Everybody was like, this can't be done. This can never be done again.
Mhm.
Well, 10 years later, this,
Yeah.
this Dutch guy comes out and he reinvented Jimi Hendrix. You know what I mean? And he invented, if it wasn't for Eddie Van Halen, there wouldn't be heavy metal guitar in the '80s.
Yep, yep.
And then I like your point about Cobain kind of putting his foot on the brake, saying, "Well, none of that for me. It's going to be
Deconstruction.
about the
Yeah.
song. It's going to be about the song and the minimalistic choice of notes that fit." Like I sent you a copy of the acoustic album. I was somewhere and Nirvana. I don't know if you got it. I sent it to you.
Uh,
Nirvana's live in New York. I think
oh,
it was.
MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
Iconic.
So
Yeah.
I went and I listened to it, and his guitar work on the acoustic's pretty good.
Yeah. No, he's really
Yeah,
good. But
yeah,
he
no, yeah,
chooses, but he's a deconstructionist.
yeah.
So, he takes a
Which
whole
is which is the opposite of what I am. Yeah,
yes, yes. If you
yeah,
for a lot of people who don't like that, you're not gonna like it. But it does make him a genius because
yeah,
he created these genius solos. But my
yeah,
point is that Cobain, like Eddie Van Halen, will have a huge influence in the 90s. Like he will inspire other people. Like you've never
yeah.
seen that before. And I feel like maybe that's the last time.
And I think Cobain, the thing which is good about him is he wasn't trying. You know what I mean? He
Re-
was just playing.
no, ready, like the way I see it, you have Elvis's debut,
Yeah,
right? The iconic one with the black and white photo and the pink and
right.
green. You have then Beatles, Please Please Me.
Hmm.
Then you have Hendrix.
Hmm.
Then it kind of then you see the fruits of that. Then you have
Yeah,
Van Halen, who explodes and will usher in hair metal and all the
Yeah.
metal popular stuff in the 80s. And then Nevermind, Nirvana. And again, it's like these are such monumental debuts
Yeah.
and albums that
Oh,
they
definitely.
will
I agree. I
gonna inspire a
agree.
whole generation.
Yeah. I mean, Nevermind opened up the 90s, the new decade.
Mhm.
It closed the chapter on a lot of my favorite bands, but it opened up a chapter on what was to come. And we'll discuss more of that in the future. So I love your picks. They're really good.
I have a lot more.
Wait, Joe, how many? No, Joe just did two.
I did too. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
Dude, come on.
Oh my God.
Keep going, Joe. Yeah, I know we went on a tangent on this
He
one.
should be shot.
Oh God, I know.
All right, yeah. So okay, so we got Van Halen, Led Zeppelin,
Yep.
and next up is someone who is just an unbelievable talent. And I think he should be an Artist of the Month candidate sometime this year, and that is Jeff Buckley, who did an album called Grace. It was his debut album, and it was his only album because he passed away
Yeah.
before the age of 30. But I've been listening to it, and it's just unbelievable. And I think it meets the criteria with the hits. I mean, Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. The cover, of course, it was in the Shrek soundtrack. The Last Goodbye, absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And Lover, You Should Have Come Over.
That's yeah,
Great.
no. Joe, actually I should be shot. That should be I'm gonna bump that up to my list now because that album is amazing. Amazing album cover. All the songs are killer. Dude, he innovated Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. If you go
Yeah.
back and listen to the original version, you'll be shocked how different it is. Like, and that version inspired John Cale, what you're talking about with the Shrek soundtrack. He wanted to do a version like that on the piano. Like, but he heard Jeff Buckley's version.
Yeah.
So, and dude, guitar, his arpeggios, is that how you say it, Cheech? Arpeggios?
Arpeggios. Yeah.
Arpeggios are immaculate. His voice, talk about this dude is doing two things at once.
Yeah.
That, if anything, yeah. And what's amazing, his only one, because in his
Yeah.
life tragically got cut short.
Yeah. He had
I.
a 3.5 to 4 octave voice.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow.
his first time in the studio, from what I read, the guys working with him, the engineers and whatnot, thought he was a bit scattered. They struggled to get him focused, but man, once they got him focused, the music it just poured out of him.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. And one of Robert Plant and Jimmy Page's favorite singers ever.
Wow.
And yeah, Page had said that the album Grace is one of his favorites of the '90s. Right up near the top.
That's
So
awesome.
just unbelievable. I actually watched the Jeff Buckley documentary last night. It's Never Over, Jeff Buckley. And I'm not going to lie, it's unfortunately very sad,
Mm.
Yeah.
very sad. And I know he was the son of Tim Buckley, who was a folk singer,
Yeah.
in the Dylan category, I guess you would say,
Mhm.
and an activist. But he never knew his father. Really didn't. I think in his childhood, he only spent about a week with his father,
Wow.
and so he never knew him. So he used to get very offended when people would always, talk about his father. And they would say, like a guy would interview him and say, "What did you inherit from your father?" And he would say, Jeff would say, I inherited people who knew my father. That's all, who remember my father. He didn't want to keep being reminded of
Mm.
someone who was had a great voice and was a musician and a singer, but had really no interaction with him as a child.
Right.
So I thought that was very interesting. It's an interesting documentary, but it is sad. The next album, I think I might have to take off the list. I don't think it's going to make the criteria, and that is Blind Faith. Blind Faith with Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Ginger Baker. That is a super group. I forget the bass player's name, but he came. I
Oh,
think he went.
Gretsch. Something Gretsch. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are some great songs in the presence of the Lord.
Oh, I think it's amazing album.
No, I think that's a great debut.
I would keep it. I would keep it on the list.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a super group debut album, and they're out there. I got one on my list.
Yeah. Can't Find My Way Home. I mean,
Yep,
Winwood is unbelievable on it.
it's
But they
amazing.
only did the one album. They did a short tour. I think their first concert was in front of 100,000 people at Hyde Park,
Yeah, it's the
and they were
famous one.
underprepared for it. So, I mean, you read what the guy said about the experience, and it seemed like only Ginger Baker was having a good time.
Yeah,
You
Hmm.
know, Clapton was spending more time with Delaney and Bonnie.
yeah, yeah. I did a lot of
Them.
shows with them. Yeah,
Yeah, he wanted to be in their band, or Clapton would say, "I wish I could be in the band with Levon Helm and Rick Danko and Robbie Robertson." He
yeah.
said those guys look like they're having fun. So I don't know what was going on with Clapton at that time. It was before his
Well,
solo
he was
career.
in a transitional period, you know. I think because he was ready to go solo, and that I mean, Blind Faith should have did another album. And talk about controversial album covers.
Wait, is that the debut album cover though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is that really?
yeah. That's
So
kind
yeah,
of like Virgin Killers.
yeah, that's very controversial.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's in the rock covers book I just showed you guys. Um, and it's true that after the initial pressings, the next pressings in America, they changed the cover. But I
Hmm.
had it on cassette. I mean, I didn't care. I bought the cassette for the music. I didn't care about the cover.
yeah, I had the album.
It's just yeah, it's weird. The girl was 11 years old, but her parents signed off on it.
Right. You know
That's
what's funny?
weird.
I ran across the album, and obviously they took it, but back in the day, I never saw anything of it.
You didn't. It was weird.
Oh,
You know.
and it's funny because I was immature Manny, so I didn't like the music at first. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, it requires, and then I listened to Blind Faith. I'm like, whoa, and I figure out who the band members were.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, but my point is, I thought the album cover. I was like, I didn't think much of it. Now I get it, definitely, I get it,
Twisted. You
I
know.
get
Yeah,
it, I get it. But yeah, no, the music is Joe. That's yeah, an insane debut. I
yeah.
But it's just like it's a continuation of other bands. I don't think they broke any new ground except to prove that super groups don't necessarily guarantee success.
Well, super groups they don't. You know. They're good for maybe one to three
maybe,
albums, and
maybe
then
just one.
yeah, I agree. Just one. You know, because
Yo,
I got
it's like the Traveling Wilburys. Is that a
yeah,
great debut? But they're just continuing what they started. And the second one, they couldn't. It's okay.
yeah,
But
yeah.
sad like the death of Roy Orbison. But
But I think Clapton was ready to do a solo career.
he was.
Like go out solo as Eric Clapton with cocaine and shot the sheriff and all that stuff. But he was kind of like just experimenting with different things.
You know what's funny? I think it was there was a time period. I think didn't he develop an addiction to heroin?
Yeah, he stayed
Yeah,
in his house for about three
Yeah,
years.
wasn't he struggling with that? So I
Yeah,
think he had a
he
lot of
didn't do
time.
nothing for a couple of years after Blind Faith.
Yeah, I think he was.
That they stopped giving him because of what's her name, is it Patty Harrison?
Patty Boyd.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Patty.
yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah, Patty
yeah.
Harrison. Yeah.
Because of that, he the record label stopped sending him royalty money because it was just going right to heroin.
As an aside, great debut, Derek and the Dominoes. Yeah.
There you go. And there was only
Tell
one.
you what.
Oh my God, how could we forget
Layla,
that?
dude, that was iconic on so many
Holy
levels.
shit, that might be
Iconic,
one of the greatest debut albums of all
dude,
time.
dude,
Just for
dude,
Layla.
dude. The story, the artwork, all killer, no filler. Like, and then just the fact that it has Layla, which is everyone knows that song. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're
The
not into
iconic
rock.
riff. It's like it's
And one of the most iconic piano lines in the second
oh
half.
my God,
Beautiful
yeah.
piano line used so well in Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas.
Yeah.
So,
It might be one of the greatest debut albums
and,
if you think about it.
but to Joe's point, that album is not really doing anything innovative. It's just Eric Clapton doing what he does best. I think he got with Duane Allman.
Wayne Allman, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so iconic slide guitarist, right?
Yeah.
So it's just yeah. Anyway, but
I don't think Layla's overplayed. I am not a Layla fan. The best song on the album is Bell Bottom Blues.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that is the best song.
Yeah.
Oh, as an aside too, I forgot to mention this. I should be shot. Elton John's debut, dude.
Another good one.
It's my personal favorite. Yeah. Anyway, just because for some reason you just Bell Bottom Blues reminded me of another song, your song, for some odd reason. But
Oh, your
Yeah.
song is really good. Yeah.
The next debut album I have, and don't argue with me, but they are the originators. They are the real deal. They invented heavy metal, and they are Black Sabbath.
I agree.
oh,
1,000, one
what,
million
what
percent.
the? I should be shy. I didn't include that either. It's so hard. But yeah, you know what's funny? I love Paranoid and Massive Reality more. But yeah, that is.
Well, when you think of that album, just think of the opening track. Says it
Dude,
Yeah,
all. Says it all. There's no you,
Pete,
you
your
know
favorite Devil's Note. What is that called?
the tritone,
The
the devil in
Tri.
Devil's
music.
Tritone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
that
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 album is so
invented.
spooky, but
Yeah.
dude, I love how I love how
Oh,
cinematic
the
it is.
spells. Yeah.
Oh, and then ding, ding, ding. Just
Oh,
like,
there's rain and lightning in
yeah,
the back. It's pretty. It's insane. Yeah, it's innovative.
story behind him,
But
iconic album cover, every dude, geniuses across all
that's an example of a good produced song.
well produced.
But
Yeah.
when you hear the rest of the album, it's not. It's raw. Like the Wizard,
I would
Wick.
argue it's well produced. Every song is well produced. It's actually fantastic.
Not in the first album. It has a rawness to it. You know what I mean? Like when you listen to the Wizard or Wicked World, it's produced, but
Mm.
Paranoid is way,
I,
way more
I
produced.
I know this is so funny. John Lennon says that the Beatles invented heavy metal with the song is You're Gonna Love.
Helter Skelter.
Well, not even before that, I'm blanking on the name of the song, but oh, no disrespect to John Lennon, Black Sabbath did invent.
Oh no, the
They
black. Yeah,
they are the true um innovators because without them there would be a lot of bands would not exist.
yeah. No, I agree.
I love Ozzy's harmonica playing on the Wizard.
Oh yeah, think about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
harmonica. With metal riffs.
Yeah.
You
And I
know,
don't want to hear anything about Inagata Davida and Iron Butterfly. I don't want to hear about Heavy Metal Thunder from Steppenwolf. I don't want to hear
Yeah,
any of that. It was
Joe,
Black Sabbath.
Cheech and I were talking about that.
Black
no,
Sabbath started it.
Yeah,
they
Judas
did
Priest carried it on. And then
yeah,
I'll let Cheech fill in the blanks.
right.
How about
No,
that?
no, but that's a great choice because
I
Tony
just remember the song that John Lennon claimed, "Ticket to Ride," because I don't know if you ever heard
Ticket
that
to
story.
Ride as a
John
metal.
Lennon claims with that, yeah, you should look into that. And again, obviously Helter Skelter, but no, I agree with Joe. And a lot of people say, Heavy Metal Thunder, whatever. No, I think the more I get older, the more I realize Black Sabbath invented it, and
Yeah,
they took on geniuses because there was nothing like it.
no,
You put it on. It's shocking. This album came out in 1969. Like shocking because there was nothing like it. So that's
and
getting your criteria, Cheese, in terms of uniqueness.
yeah, and
You know,
It's blues based.
very blues based. Yeah.
You know,
And yet Bill Ward considered himself a jazz drummer, didn't he?
he is playing jazz drums on that.
But
He
he
is.
hits the drums so hard. He hits the cymbals so hard.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can that be jazz?
Oh, you hear the swing and the way he swings in Bill Ward's playing. There's a swing.
You know what, Joe? You know where you hear it in the drum fills. You hear it's kind of like Neil Peart fills, where you kind of hear that like you hear that jazz. And I hear it.
Yeah, they have there's like a swing that the Bill Ward had that like kind of no drummer had. Bill Ward had a unique drum sound, very different than a lot of people.
But I do agree with Joe. He's hitting it like, and I
Oh,
love how it
he's a
was
pounder.
recorded. It was recorded so well that how
And forget, the bass playing. Geezer is just nobody sounded like Geezer. He played on top of like normally you play by the pickup. He played on the neck. He was hitting the neck of the bass. And most people, the normal way is you play on the pickup. He was up on the neck, just pounding it, and he gets this unique sound. And he used a wah wah pedal
mm,
on that solo before NIB or on NIB. So I mean, Geezer is just on that album innovating bass
hmm
to the next level. And Tony, forget the riffs. He invented the riffs. And then you got Ozzy, who's forget about it, one of the greatest. So that is a great pick.
Next up would be Boston,
Oh my
first
God.
album from Boston. Not much to say there, except it's just, it was the soundtrack of my high school life.
Well,
Soundtrack of the
well, well,
70s,
well, what
soundtrack of
I
Feels
will
Like,
say,
soundtrack of one of my first rock songs I discovered, fell in love in rock because of it too. Like more than a feeling.
well, I would say about that album that out of all the albums we're gonna name a lot of albums tonight, right? Every single song on the first Boston album was played on rock radio.
Everything was a hit.
You can't say that about Black Sabbath. You can't even say that about Zeppelin's first album. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or Hendrix. Well, Hendrix had a lot of songs played, but every single song from Boston's first album, I, from my experience, I heard it on the radio, and I thought that one time, like, how does every song get played on the radio from this album? Got to
Ye-
be the greatest album of all
Yeah,
time.
it's astounding. Cheech, or I don't joke, the Cars debut. Did every song go on the radio too? The Cars debut?
Five.
Five of them, which is like 5 out of 8. That's almost
I
like
know, I
home
know,
run, which is
but
achievement.
yeah, but Boston,
Mhm.
they hold that record. I think for that, just to throw that out there.
The next one I have is The Doors. And of course, The Doors have one horrible omission that Cheech probably will be offended by is that they do not have a bass player.
No, see
They have one.
Ray
There's a bass
Manzarek
in the
did both on
studio.
the organ.
they get a pass. The Doors get a pass.
Well,
Oh,
let me tell you the Doors, and actually if he shot too, it's so hard picking these debuts. I picked them, I guess, based on personal. That would have been on my list top because, dude, just for the song "The End," I mean,
oh
and
yeah,
Light My
mother,
Fire. Yeah, yeah,
father, I want to
Mother,
kill you,
I want to kill you. He's like screaming,
mother.
dude,
Get twisted.
and that's a take on the Oedipus complex story.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
Freudian.
He was. Jim Morrison was a fucking genius,
And
man.
talk no and iconic, yeah, the cover's iconic, psychedelic blues.
But here's the thing: well, I never would get mad because what Ray Manzarek did with his left hand, I don't think many bass players could do. On the bass, that guy's a fucking genius. He's not Keith Emerson or but as a keyboard player, he is a beast.
Yeah, but
Think about Light My Fire and all
but,
the.
but it's funny, he said in interviews that, so first of all, he played the organ. First of all, that I
Yeah,
love the organ usage on that album and sound, but also on this other hand, the bass notes.
yeah, he was
He,
playing bass
he was
lines.
playing both. How
Yeah,
genius is that? Like that,
he was playing counter melody on his left hand and chords on his right hand. I
totally
mean,
genius.
that, and it sounded like a
And then,
bass.
and then Jim
Although
Morrison, best front man, because in
oh
my
my
opinion
God,
better than Lee Roth because poet he was a poet, so
yeah,
he
oh
lyrics
yeah,
are astounding across the board,
yeah. No, he's just
and
so
that
unique.
album has all killer no filler
Yeah,
from the top.
but they did use bass on some songs. They had to
Yeah,
record it,
of course, of course.
So
It's kind of funny how why didn't they have a bass player. It was kind of funny, but
that is interesting. I never really thought of that, and I never even gave it a second thought.
no.
Like why don't I have a bass player? And I grew up. My father played Morrison Hotel to death when I was a kid. You know, so
Yeah.
great
And
pick.
anybody who hasn't seen it, check out the Apocalypse Now movie by Francis Ford Coppola
Yo, you
because
beat me to it.
the Doors
Oh,
extensively.
that
Uh,
beginning scene, dude. Yeah, something a connection with like great music and movies is
Yeah.
match made in
yeah,
heaven.
just be aware it is a very violent movie, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of the
dark.
greatest movies of all time
Agree.
with one of the greatest soundtracks of all time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is U2, and their first album was called Boy,
Boy,
Great
fantastic.
and it
album.
featured a sonic architect, David Evans, better known as The Edge,
Mhm.
Great guitar player.
and an interesting, very enthusiastic, hardworking frontman named Bono, or Paul Hewson to his, friends in Ireland.
But the Edge, he played solo, a lot of solo work, like regular guitar on the early U2. Before he wasn't as atmospheric, right?
I,
I
no,
think,
I would push back on you. He's very atmospheric on the debut. Like his guitar lines, I like what Joe said. He's an architecture of sound. So
but I remember like I Will Follow and stuff.
Yeah.
He's playing like punk rock kind of style guitar. You know what I mean? That kind of like choppy, and then
mm,
he's taking like little solos and stuff. That's what I liked about the early stuff. Then U2 got really produced later on.
Well,
Like
that was the Brian Eno effect.
yeah,
You know,
but if you listen to the whole album, there is sort of like I love it, Joe.
yeah, Unforgettable Fire. I don't know if you can see it, but that's from
nice,
1985.
nice.
And that's when they were really coming out and being produced and learning
Yeah,
how to write songs. They still
yeah,
hadn't figured it out, but they were getting closer and they perfected it on the
yeah.
Josh Butch Lee.
It took him like 4 albums or like three.
Yeah, yeah. They felt in a lot of ways that their songs were not finished, that they didn't they were not the entire package. I thought they were great. I liked the Boy album, and because in the early years when I saw them, I've seen them in concert 7 times, but like the first couple of times they played a lot of songs from Boy, and
Now
it was excellent.
I get my U2 early U2 mix up. Two Heartbeat is one, and
That's from the
Gloria.
War album. That's the third album.
Okay, I wore out War that album. Gloria's on that
No,
one.
no, that's a second.
See,
That,
that's
that
where
that's a great. That's a great.
I
That's a
get
great.
confused. I had all three, but I just I didn't listen to every album,
Yeah.
so I put them. I mixed. They're all
I,
mixed in
I
my
I
head.
love how the Edge plays guitar like down 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 down. Like I
Well,
love how
well,
he builds his guitar
he
riffs.
plays guitar. You know what I mean? He's not like always been atmospheric as well. He had both going for him.
Both. Yeah.
He had chops. He had chops.
Yeah,
But he lessened that as they became more successful. He was more of the atmospheric guy.
I feel like he became more like I love what you said like the punkiness of it. Then
Yeah,
it became more I guess minimal more atmosphere. I think it became more atmospheric. Like
yeah. I think there's a punk element in that first album.
oh
You know,
100%.
definitely.
yeah,
I
yeah.
my favorite song on that album.
And a rawness. There is some type of rawness to that album, which goes back to the criteria.
I don't know if Joe saw a song live, Out of Control. Love that song on that album. I would
Yep.
recommend it, Cheech, if you listen to it.
Very, very good.
I
Yeah.
can only imagine them performing live. And I love how the Edge, yeah, you're right. He's a genius because he builds arc he, he starts building like layers of sounding of the guitar. It's pretty astounding. Like
Yeah, amazing.
yeah,
I thought it was always funny that it was the War album that really broke them in
yeah,
America with New
yeah.
Year's Day and Sunday
Yeah.
Bloody Sunday. And I remember Larry Mullen said that they were touring and they were in the middle of America and he was in a McDonald's and there were two teenagers ahead of him and they were talking about the album. He thought it was great. Oh, U2, that was a great album. But then one of the guys said, "Yeah, but the drummer really sucks."
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, Larry Mullen. I was like, I was feeling pretty good about myself, but that kept me more level headed hearing a comment like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Double-edged sword.
And what do you think of Adam Clayton as a bassist? Nobody ever
I
considers him to be in an upper tier.
I think he's one of the most solid bass players in rock, and I
Mhm.
would put him in a category of um, Cliff Williams from AC/DC,
Mm.
Ian Hill from Judas Priest.
Bill Wyman for the Rolling Stones.
No, Wyman played more notes.
Oh,
He
okay.
was, he was a lot more busier. Dusty Hill from ZZ Top. They're the glue that hold it together because they're playing up against great guitar players. You know?
No, it makes sense because the Edge totally takes, and then not to mention
Yeah,
Bono just
yeah,
takes over
yeah.
with his
Oh,
voice as
yeah,
a
yeah,
front man. I
yeah,
mean, it's funny
yeah.
because those two, but they're underrated. I'm surprised to say his drumming sucks. I thought it was
They're a great rhythm section.
yeah, great, great. That's good.
They're steady.
Great.
They're the glue behind you
Yeah,
too. You're not
I love
gonna think about them. You're not
what
gonna think
connection
about
you
them.
made. AC/DC. You need that. You know.
Yeah, if Geddy Lee couldn't play in AC/DC, it wouldn't work. Chris Squire. Imagine Chris Squire in AC/DC. What a fucking clusterfuck that would be.
Now you know why Les Claypool did not join Metallica, or why Metallica didn't want to
You
have
know what's
Les
Oh,
funny?
Claypool.
exactly.
Before
And
you know what's
when it
funny?
wasn't.
Before I knew Les Claypool, I had no idea who he is. I remember
Yeah,
you two talking about him in
yeah,
private. Okay, went to go and did research and listened to a few albums. Okay, saw a video, and I was like, yeah, now I see Metallica's point. Like, it would not
Yeah.
work.
No,
You
no.
know, he's a genius. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of it, you know. Like AC/DC and ZZ Top, like without or the only exception is Van Halen. Michael Anthony is busy. He's doing some busy, cool
Well,
lines.
I feel like you have to because Eddie Van Halen's like the Mozart on guitar, so you gotta
Yeah.
be busy on all
So
fronts.
he's pretty.
Also, also drummer too is yeah, the drummer.
Alex is no joke.
I
He's
mean,
almost doing like
he's.
Neil Peart fills and stuff. He was a power like Hoffer teacher. That drum beat ain't no
I was
joke.
gonna say, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great
I
drummer.
remember reading Cream magazine, and I've mentioned them before, and I get so upset with some critics. And there was a Van Halen album that was released, and the critic made a comment that the drums and bass in Van Halen were the worst rhythm section in rock. And I'm like, you idiot, you fool! How does somebody have a sustained, successful career? How can you say that that they are the worst rhythm section in rock and roll?
I think they're one of the best rhythm sections in rock
I
and
think
roll.
they're one of the
Yeah,
greatest of anything.
You know,
you know,
that's
critics, I just
why
don't get where they come from sometimes.
I'll tell you a story. Billy Sheehan, the greatest
Oh,
rock bass player, you know, for a soloist. He's like the
wait,
Jocko.
we teach as a quick side. I heard Potter's Field VX has one of the greatest rhythm sections.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. Robbie's no joke, man, you know. Um, but Billy Sheehan uh opened up for Van Halen, his band Talus. He wasn't popular.
Mhm.
So one of the managers took him aside and said, "Look, we want you in Van Halen. Because imagine you and Eddie, what that would be like." And Billy Sheehan said, "No way. You have the greatest rhythm section right there. I would just be getting in his way." You know, so even Billy Sheehan is admitting this, and you
Mhm.
know, but years later he played with LaRoth and he played with Steve Vai, and that was insane. But that was almost too much, you know, when everyone was going nuts, you know. But I love it, you know.
The next album I have on my list is CSNY, Deja Vu, that Manny mentioned.
Yeah.
And whether it's the first album or the second album, I just love the album. I really do. I think, introducing Neil Young as the secret sauce was very interesting, but it wasn't going to last long. I think Stephen Stills and Neil Young is just, there's not enough guitars, there's not enough songs, for them to both coexist. And of course, and David Crosby, I guess, was he could be very blunt and difficult
I've
to
heard.
work
Yeah.
with as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Poor Graham Nash, he was the sweetheart of the group. He was
yeah,
the peacemaker, between all
yeah,
of them. But it was almost like Neil's songs were like a solo
Yeah.
contribution.
Yeah.
Kind of girl, helpless,
yeah.
and but I thought it worked for them. But it may not meet Cheech's strict criteria.
Um, I think it does. I think it does.
It's got great songs. I think it's greatly produced. The harmonies are
I,
fantastic. The
I
songs are great. The song "Deja Vu" itself that opens it. I have a thing about the opening songs. That are so important. Van Halen, Led Zeppelin,
that, yo,
"Deja Vu" is
that,
one
well,
of
we
the
could do a whole show on that.
we could do a whole show on
Opener.
that. And geez, that's an interesting criteria. The opener. I mean, yo, it's gotta
yeah.
hook
You could
you
call it
in.
"Drop the Needle." When you drop the needle on it, all of a sudden
It's all
this
about the
massive
opener.
music comes out.
Yeah, I mean every album we're talking about has killer openers. You know.
Yeah, I mean, with the Van Halen, we were talking about how with the opening with "Running with the Devil,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Again,
starts off with like a fire siren.
yeah.
But then if you listen carefully, Eddie Van Halen does this little thing with the piano and he tinkles the ivories. He just tinkles it. And then all of a sudden, then the guitar comes in
Yeah.
and rock and roll was never the same again.
Yeah. And it starts off with that boom, boom,
Boom,
boom,
boom.
boom. Simple.
Down
But
there.
then the piano,
I,
the
I
piano.
would always teach that at my first bass lesson to my students. I'm gonna say, "You're gonna learn a song today." I'm not gonna learn a song. I can't even play the bass. You can play one note, an E note, as a quarter note beat. Boom, 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 boom. That's all you need. And then go to A, E to A.
Yeah, but Deja Vu, I every song I thought was killer, was
Oh
great.
yeah, and
Almost
I
Cut My
agree.
Hair with David Crosby on vocals. Woodstock, of course, written by Joni Mitchell.
I was gonna say one of the greatest covers of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, and the Carry On, dude. Just going back to opener, ding the ding the ding the ding the ding the ding ding. Like, dude,
yeah.
immediately grabs you in, and yeah, it doesn't let go. I mean, it's crazy.
I love Teach Your Children and Our
Everything.
House. You know,
Oh,
and the Graham
Our
Nash
House is
feature
like
on
a
those.
great pop song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got that one. My last one, number 10, of just a shambolic mess. But I put her on. I put on Kate Bush's The Kick Inside.
Oh, I should be shot. Forgot that one.
And I
There's
did it
someone.
Now
because
that's Manny. How many times did Manny say that this episode?
All right, Joe, we're both dead.
I don't think I said it. I think I said it once, maybe. I
Dude,
don't know.
you know what's funny? I had that on my side list, but I struggled. Should I put her in? Oh, like, I love Kate Bush. You know what, Joe? I'm gonna bump her up. I have to.
well, she was the first British female singer-songwriter to have a number one hit. Wuthering Heights was number one in the UK for
Yep.
4 weeks.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And
Never,
I guess that was
never thinking.
unusual because it was the first time a female artist who had self-penned the music, the
Yep.
song,
Yep.
went to number one, and it was sustained.
Yep.
So obviously she must have, uh, oh, what's the word? Influenced so many other
Yeah.
women songwriters to take a chance.
Yeah.
And considering her age, I
She was
think
19.
she was only 19. Like, what? And first of all, and you decided to tackle Wuthering Heights, classic novel that really, like, I'll be honest, I would wonder if obviously it's a classic book, um, and that's your hit, and you decide to make a song. The song is so deep, it's haunting.
Yeah.
She also choreographed her own dance moves based on the song, like
Yeah.
total. And that's not the only song. Straight off, the whole album's a genius album.
And
Featuring
according to this, what I'm looking at here, there were 5 singles from The Kick Inside.
Mhm.
Wuthering Heights, January 20th of 78. Next up was Moving in April of 78 in Japan. So I think the record companies, they were not just going for England and America, but for the world, to expose this music to the world. Because then The Man with the Child in His Eyes, which is my favorite song, that came out in May of 78. So there were two like universal releases, but then there's another one called Them Heavy People that was released in Japan in September of 78, and Strange Phenomenon came out in June of 79 in Brazil. So the record company spaced it out globally.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what I learned today that shocked me is like, where the hell was I? I was there in December 9th of 1978. Kate Bush appeared on Saturday Night Live
Wow.
as the musical guest. The host was Eric Idle of Monty Python and Michael
Wow.
Ryan and all that. And I'm like, that was my freshman year of college. We used to stop whatever we were doing, and we would come back and watch Saturday Night Live as a group in somebody's dorm room.
Yeah.
And it's December 9th of 78. If I watched it, I don't know. I missed it. I just
And there were no like reruns back then. You know, they would once they aired it, you didn't see it. Like
yeah,
maybe
it's
some
not on
years later.
YouTube. It's not on YouTube, but it's in the SNL archives
Wow.
that she appeared. And it's also noted it was her only televised American performance. She had been
That's
interviewed on
interesting.
American TV, but it's the only performance. She did 2 songs, and one of them was The Man with the Child in His Eyes from the first
Wow.
album.
Mhm.
Inside, yeah, okay, that was
Amazing.
great. But yeah, so I mean, I'm just amazed that an artist like a Kate Bush could do whatever she wanted in terms of she didn't want to tour, but she wanted to put out albums, and she did. And we're still talking about her many, many years later.
Oh
Whereas
yeah.
Stevie Nicks will say that she sacrificed family life for her career. She never
Yeah.
had a family. I don't think she may have married shortly, and then it didn't work out. But there's so many female performers who they sacrifice everything for the career from the pressures
Mhm.
of record companies and people that rely on them when they're touring and the whole
Yeah,
entourage thing.
yeah,
Crazy. And a Kate Bush, she didn't like to tour. She didn't like to travel. So she only did 2 tours, and we're still talking about her.
it's amazing.
And apparently, she owns all the rights to Wuthering Heights, so she gets all the royalties. And when Stranger Things used her song, she made hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You can't make it.
Wow.
And think how many years later it is.
It's like she had a sense into the future. I feel like, like, well, maybe because she's such she in my eyes is a true artist, like in the classic sense where she puts out art, and there is nothing like, and I'm also amazed how she did. I think the last time you saw it was with the Beatles when they decided, yeah, we're not touring anymore. All right, they can get away with it because they're the Beatles, but the fact that Kate Bush said that. And if anything, it took all of her albums are masterpieces. But I'm telling you, if you guys haven't done your homework, listen to Hounds of Love, front to back.
Yeah.
It is. I'm telling you, it. I can see why there was a resurgence in her popularity again, and she maybe made a very smart move. She maybe trusted herself. She's like, yeah, I don't want to tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you
And
could.
I think that she spoke to someone like a Peter Gabriel. And Peter Gabriel said, I left a very successful group because I didn't want to do album tour, album tour, album tour. I didn't want to have my life planned for the next 3 and 4 years. I
Uh,
wanted to do what I wanted to do on my own timetable. And that's what he did. And I think someone like a Kate Bush saw what a Peter Gabriel was doing and saying it's not necessary to release an album every other year. If I want to take 10 years, I'm going to take 10 years.
mm,
yeah,
And that's what she did. I think she had very good mentors.
yeah.
David
Right.
Gilmour,
yep.
probably learned a lot from Roy Harper, believe it or not,
Oh,
about maybe,
I,
relationships with record companies and
That he's the
these
wrong.
years.
She's the wrong guy to talk to.
Roy Harper?
Yeah, about record labels and stuff.
just release what you want.
Yeah.
He got dropped by like every label.
But he survived and he made a
Oh
living.
yeah,
And he was
oh yeah.
okay. If he had given in, he could have signed with Swan Song.
I know.
Jimmy could have produced him. Jimmy
Could have
could have
been.
played guitar on those
Man.
Yeah,
albums.
Yo, I feel like what's a legendary in my like what ifs? Led Zeppelin and Roy Harper recording an album together.
yeah, yeah,
Like that, imagine if they actually did that. I feel like it's a legendary. They would have
yeah.
like a super
Well,
album.
something like that has been done. If you'll recall, Lou Reed recorded an entire album with Metallica.
Yeah, yeah.
How did that work out?
Right, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
But that's total shite.
is it?
Joe, do you like it? Do you like the album, Lulu?
I never listened to it.
Maybe guys go listen to it and maybe we can come back.
I listened to it like for about maybe 4 minutes and said I'm not into it, but I thought it was a cool
No,
idea.
cool idea, cool concept.
Yeah,
Definitely cool concept. Where a
yeah,
legendary band backs up a legendary,
yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
classic
I
vocal.
forgot that like I completely forgot, like not even in my mind that album.
I went
Also,
through a phase where I listened to a lot of Lou Reed, and I'm like, wow, he is more musical than I ever thought.
oh,
People
Oh
think that
yeah.
he's just doing like a spoken word type thing,
But
oh
and then
yeah.
Sweet Jane is one of my favorite songs.
Well, no,
sure,
well, yeah. Well, Velvet Underground, insane. His work with that band, because without Velvet Underground and Nico, that album, there would be no. I would argue like nothing what you would see in punk much later. They were
New
way ahead of
York
their
City
time.
punk. New York City punk.
Yes, yes. And actually, just going back to Kate Bush, I'm shocked that she was signed at EMI. Like, how funny is that? And
Yeah,
then this woman, 19-year-old, produces probably one of their biggest cash and with Wuthering Heights going number one,
yeah.
EMI, and then Sex Pistols getting mad at EMI, and
I
like
know.
it just to me
Oh,
it's so
they wrote a
funny.
song about EMI,
Yeah, to me
how they hate EMI.
it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
And one more thing about Gabriel and Kate Bush, both of them had an influence on each other.
Yeah.
And actually, it's so funny because when I listen to "Don't Give Up," I feel like that's them talking to each other. Peter Gabriel
Yeah,
and Bush, because they both were artists that really took risks. And
true.
obviously they probably had a lot of pressure from like, why don't you just get back with Genesis or, we want another Wuthering Heights. And Kate Bush is like, no, I'm not doing that. And no, I'm not touring. So anyway,
It's amazing. She was so popular in the British Isles, and the album did go platinum. Whereas Jeff Buckley, from what my research showed, his album Grace rose to number 149 out of the Billboard Top 200.
yep,
149.
yep,
It was just like almost ignored in America.
yep.
Yeah,
And he toured the world, and he was much more popular in Europe than he
yeah.
ever was in America. And
That,
then I don't know if it was an effect like when he passed away, if people got interested in his music again and bought the
that,
album like the
that,
way that
that,
some people invest in artists who die,
yeah.
their works of art.
Yeah.
Recently, this generation, I saw a news article about that the album actually went back to the top of the charts, and Lover You Should Come Over, this generation found something in that song and they put it to the top of it reached the Billboard. I don't know what place, but there's now like similar to Kate Bush resurgence, there was a Buckley resurgence as well. So
But he wasn't in any movies or anything that would have. That's
all right.
Well,
interesting.
Hallelujah was in Shrek.
But you know, it's funny,
Oh,
Joe,
Shrek
but the John
soundtrack.
Cale version, not his version. So John Cale covered that song but he was inspired by Buckley's version.
Oh, I had it wrong about Shrek.
Yeah, it's John
I'll
Cale
listen to it.
From the Velvet Underground.
Wow.
Yeah. So his version, now get this, he was inspired by Jeff Buckley, like because he did his own version on piano, a, a la mode Buckley.
Okay.
Yeah. When
I
I
learned
was
something on
young,
the Cheech and Manny music
no, it's
podcast. I
crazy.
made an assumption that I did.
Yeah, yeah, no, and the reason why I know that, Joe, is I researched it. I was obsessed with the Shrek soundtrack, and I was looking who made this song. This is before I had a computer, and then I discovered Jeff Buckley at the library, his album, and I was like, Hallelujah! Oh, wait, is this it? Put it on, and you hear the guitar arpeggios, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not it. But I got hooked. And I was, and every year I listen to the album once. It's for me, it's a magical album. So I
Yeah.
could, it's crazy because yeah, and the Owls, the British always are ahead of, I guess, good taste. They know.
always, always.
Yeah, his songs are very much about relationships and unfortunately the end of relationships
Mhm.
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
pain that one
that's the key
feels.
word, the end, and
Yeah,
finding the grace in that end. Yeah, great
Yeah.
album. That album is just magical. But Joe, that's a fantastic list. Do you have any honorable mentions or
I
something
was going to put on Pearl Jam, but I thought about it, and I don't know. Maybe it was because it was right after Buckley, and the sadness associated with him. Because Pearl Jam's 10. A lot of the songs seem to be centered on depression, suicide, loneliness, and murder. And I'm like,
a harsh
I
album? Yeah.
need to be uplifted a little bit.
About
Like you don't
sums
get
up.
that feeling listening to Van Halen's first album. It's like you want to go out and just like dance and like
Right.
have a good time.
That sums up the '90s.
Yeah,
You know,
I was gonna say, yeah. That
Oh my
literally,
God, Stone
it,
Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains,
all
yeah, all those
dark,
albums are
heroin
Soundgarden.
addiction, heroin addiction, and
yeah.
death and
Well,
gloom and
you had Alice in Chains Wood, which is all about heroin addiction and being literally like feeling like dirt. Then you
yeah,
had Pearl Jam talking about all these topics that are so dark. And the music is kind of uplifting, but lyrically, it's Jeremy. I mean, you know Jeremy Black. I mean, we talk about
very Schopenhauer influence.
Bear, dude. Grunge is Schopenhauer, man.
It really is.
Nirvana's depressing too in a way. Like,
Oh, yeah,
it's a great and Stone Temple Pilots debut. I was on Cheech this. I love it. But yeah, a lot of that song is actually like I don't want to listen too much because yeah, it's like kind of too harsh. I'm like, yeah, I
Uh,
want to listen to more. I want to listen to Zeppelin. I'll put Zeppelin one.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
like the Stone Temple Pilots, there was that lyric that had to do with that the dogs are about to smell her,
yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
the dogs
Yeah,
are
and
going
that's
to
a
smell her.
fantastic song, but yeah.
Cadaver dogs. They're going to find out where he buried the body.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh
Yeah.
my God. But the song is a little bit brighter than that. It sucks you in.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
That's a
lyrics,
genius. That's the genius of Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots.
So yeah, such geniuses. The
Because the
music.
musicianship is phenomenal
Oh, can I
and the
make a connection
melodies.
to Joe's point with Jeff Buckley and Tim Buckley, his dad?
Yeah.
On Pearl Jam, Stan, Alive is about a guy discovering someone that's not his dad and the shock that comes with it.
Hmm.
Wow.
That's what Alive's about. So it would have
Yeah.
been an excellent spiritual vocal piece for Buckley. Not
Yeah.
knowing his father and like, I don't know my dad.
Oh. Yeah, because his father left his mother when she was 5 months pregnant, and he decided that his career was more important than caring for that child,
Hmm.
and he left them.
It's
Wow.
funny, Joe
And
and I on that
he died
album.
at 28, Tim Buckley, of a heroin addiction, overdose.
See, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Wow. And I will
yeah.
say that album, there's a yearning for fatherhood. There's a lot of religious fatherhood elements to it. So that I'm putting like two pieces together. Yeah, that album is amazing. The more I
Yeah.
think about it, you might
So
be,
now
you
we're going to
might.
go on, huh? We're going to go on to new ground with Cheech, or are there
Okay.
Cheech,
going to
let's
be a
go.
lot of duplications?
Let's go, Cheech. Let
All right.
the
Are you ready?
metal.
Are you ready?
We're gonna
Yeah.
have a lot of metal.
Not all metal. Not all metal.
Let's see if you can get through this without getting shot.
Okay. No, I got some notes here. Okay. The Cars, their first
Okay.
album,
Mhm.
1978. I just like
That one's
I love
shocking. I'm shocked that you put that.
oh, I worship the
Yeah,
Cars.
no, I always remember you tell me that story, how much you love the guy. It's one of our temple conversations.
Yeah, sixth grade. Oh my God. You don't understand how like living when the Cars came out in the late 70s, early 80s, and being a kid. Oh, that's all you heard on the radio. And then the artwork is so cool. It's got the chick
Like
with
that
the
50s like vibe to it.
yeah, and you're staring at her going, oh, she's good looking. You know,
What's funny is the bass player, I think, was the best singer in the band.
Benjamin Orr.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
who's
was
going to
great.
take you home tonight?
But
Yeah.
also Rick Ocasek had a voice like nobody. Nobody sounded like Rick Ocasek. And
And
then that goes back to my point. Like you
yeah.
got Benjamin Orr and Rick Ocasek that are two
Yeah.
different vocalists.
And one plays guitar and one bass, right? One
Yeah.
innovators in a way.
Just what I needed is Benjamin Orr and Let the Good Times Roll is Rick Ocasek.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll just name some song. Let the Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girlfriend, Just What I Needed, probably one of the greatest rock radio songs.
Yeah.
You're All I've Got Tonight, Moving in Stereo, classic Fast Times at Ridgemount High when Phoebe Cates comes out of the pool and takes off
Yeah.
her top.
Wait, this is moving in stereo, right?
Yeah, that is
That
like so.
that is so iconic. Yeah, dude.
Whenever I hear that song, I think about Phoebe Cates taking her top off, man. And Brad is in the bathroom fantasizing about it. You
And
know,
also,
it's
and also, just a little connection. Stacy's mom, the song by Fonz
yeah.
and Wayne was a recall to that. Like, I think they were influenced
Oh,
by the Cars.
oh
Stacy's
wow.
mom.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a good song.
the music video as well. I'm referring to the music video. It was a reference to that.
And, number two, Van Halen. You know, great album cover. Just pictures of them live shots. Running with the Devil. Um, like the opener we talked about. Eruption.
Oh, Joe
That's a
has it. Look at that. Yeah, iconic logo, album cover.
Running with
I
the
mean,
devil, Jamie's crying, eruption.
look, look at that. That's rock and roll right there. It
Yeah.
doesn't get more rock and roll than that.
And one of my favorite feel-good songs, Ice Cream Man. I
Oh,
love that. I love the how it begins acoustically, and then you're
Yeah.
and then Eddie Van Halen just riffs on this guitar.
What about Ain't Talking About Love?
Oh,
Ain't Talking, I
and
mean,
I love and dude, one of the greatest covers. You really got me.
okay, so this is what you got. This fits my criteria. So the Cars fit my criteria and Van Halen, Running with the Devil. You Really Got Me. Eruption before that, Ain't Talking About Love, Ice Cream Man, and Jamie's Crying all played on the radio.
Yeah, all
So
hits. Yeah,
all great songs. All right.
so much fun.
yeah, it's a fun album.
The Iron Maiden.
Yep.
Oh my God. What could you say? The first new wave of British heavy metal to be recorded, raw, aggressive energy. and I say raw aggressive energy, fit into metal songs. The twin guitars, punk influence from Paul Diano, and the greatest bass players of all time. Themes, stories, history, artwork, Eddie, Prowler, Running Free, Iron Maiden, Phantom of the Opera, Remember Tomorrow, Transylvania. Now, in American radio, no, that was not played on American radio. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I can't. In England, it was. It was definitely. I think Prowler, Iron Maiden, and Running Free, Iron Maiden, were played on the radio in England, but not in this country. Not when that came out, heavy metal was not played on the radio. So that doesn't fit my criteria unless we go to England and we use England as an example. So,
And it has your favorite song, Charlotte the Harlot.
of course. Oh my God. God. Between Charlotte the Harlot and Pauline, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, Mark. Them British Birmingham girls, I guess.
Something about them. The East End
East
of
End.
London girls, East End of London women, and the
I,
Birmingham girls.
Cheech, I heard you've been on 22 Acacia Avenue.
Oh, many times. Me and Dave Murray. Um, okay, my next one is Rush. I love the artwork. As cheesy as it may look, it looks like a candy bar wrapper, but it's
So,
genius. It's genius.
you
Um,
have such great. In my opinion, it's like for me, it doesn't do it. Like I feel like they
but
got better
but
stuff.
it's so
It's
unique.
Rush. It's
You
Rush.
know. I mean, I could go through. That's Rush, his youthful days, playing the clubs, catching that magical era on
Mm.
tape of them 19, 20 years old, um, literally playing gigs, going right to the studio to record. They were on fire at that point. Again, they weren't played. I don't know about Canadian radio. Well, they were played in America. So they were played on the radio.
Hmm.
They were Finding My Way, Need Some Love. Now, here's another thing on some of these albums. There should be an anthem. Some some
Yeah,
some debut
that,
albums have an anthem.
that'll go. That'll make a debut. I'm go straight top.
Yeah. Working Man is an anthem.
Yeah.
What You're Doing Here Again. So that's Rush. I forgot to bring up that. Joe already brought up Sabbath, so we don't have to go into it too
Mhm.
much. But Black Sabbath, The Wizard, NIB, The Warning. What could you say? It's probably an invented heavy metal. Again, not on the radio over here, but who knows? Maybe in England it was played. But it's different because it's inventing a genre. It invented heavy metal
Mhm.
on one album. Now that's like, imagine your first debut album. You're inventing a style of
You're
music.
inventing a genre. Like that's like next level.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Uh, I don't think it ever happened again. If you think about it, did it ever happen again?
Oh, punk. The inventors of punk.
Well, they're on there. We'll get there. That's good. That's a good point. It's a
Yeah.
great point.
What's interesting about Black Sabbath, and we talk about like progression and production. You listen to,
Mhm.
I dare you to listen to the first album and then listen to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, I think, is very highly polished.
Yeah.
Has a totally different sound.
Yeah.
It's still Sabbath, but it's like they're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
I like the album,
Yeah,
but it was different, and it's totally different from the first album
right.
in
Well,
sound.
that's where the growth is, where they grew as players. And they understood the studio a little bit more.
And
They added keyboards. Rick Wakeman's on that.
it
Oh,
goes
that's
back to
right.
your raw point, Cheech. Raw.
Well, the first album's raw
Yeah.
compared to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. So that's what I was trying to, make earlier, my point. Not for every band. Not for every band, because Boston got more produced on Third Stage than ever, you know. Um, my next one is Led Zeppelin. You know, Joe talked about it. I love the right, Joe. That was on your list. Zeppelin
Yes.
one.
Oh,
I
of
love,
course.
yeah,
Was right behind him.
I love the artwork. Robert Plant introducing the greatest singer of all time,
Yeah.
greatest drummer of all time, one of the greatest
Yeah. Joe has it
producers,
up.
songwriters, guitar players, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, organ, keyboard, and bass. So they had four virtuosos in that band. Uh, one of the greatest debut albums of all time. And they recorded it in, Joe, how many hours did they record it in? Because I know Joe's the historian. Is that
Well, it was less than 100 hours, maybe 80 hours. And it cost like 38,000 American dollars, which wasn't a lot of money for studio time back to do an album.
36 hours?
It was 36 hours.
36 hours, yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
I should be shot. I should know that. But Jimmy had it all worked out in his head before he even went
Oh,
in the studio.
yeah. And they had a
So
lot
they
of gigs.
rehearsing, they were playing in the clubs.
They
They're
were
playing.
playing a lot. And that goes back to my criteria. You're writing your first album as you're playing the clubs and you're rehearsing. So you gotta be prepared. You spent a long time writing that first album. Good times, bad times, babe, I'm gonna leave you. Dazed and confused, violin bow. That was unique. A violin bow. Nobody did that. Nobody did that. I mean, he did it with the Yardbirds, but not communication breakdown. A lot like Black Sabbath first album. That's kind of beginning of heavy metal. When you think about how heavy that song is. So, and how many more times? So Zeppelin.
Good times, bad times, drop the needle,
Oh
changed my
yeah.
life. Another one.
Once again, opening track. Good times, bad times. Amazing.
Yeah.
John Bonham
Leonard.
strumming. Nobody had
Oh,
ever listened
no,
to anything like that before.
No, and
no.
it literally starts the album with that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Obviously, a huge threat to Ginger Baker, who said that John Bonham couldn't swing.
he was so jealous.
Jealous.
Leonard Skinner,
Oh shoot, I've got that one too.
pronounced. I mean, the definition of Southern rock masterpiece. They
Yeah.
blended hard rock, blues, country, Southern rock. Years and years of playing the the dives in Florida of Jacksonville. Every song tells a story. Great harmony guitars, great vocals, great bass and drums and keys. The guitar work of Gary Rossington and Alan Collins is unbelievable. The way that they do that, their harmonies. uh it gave commercial radio songs a new sound with those jams. No one sounded like Ronnie Van Zant. Long guitar solos, Freebird, never done before, never done on a song, on a radio song, where they just jam at the end. That's where the guy went and called his girlfriend. You know what I mean? The DJ like, I'm gonna put this on and go. um the lyrics were about simple pleasures and realistic problems without being over political. Just think of this, and Al Cooper produced it.
Mhm.
Freebird, Simple Man, Tuesday's Gone, Give Me Three Steps. I mean, there's four tracks on there if you put the radio on in the next hour, you will hear at least one of those songs on radio.
And then yeah, and obviously Freebird you'll definitely hear.
Oh yeah. You know.
I wish they had played Freebird less and Simple Man more.
Yeah, Simple Man is such a good song.
Great drums on Simple Man, and it was in the. And I should be shot if I'm wrong because I've already been wrong about the Shrek soundtrack, but Simple Man was in the soundtrack for Almost Famous with Kate Hudson.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some say that the band is Skinnerd because of the plane scene. There's a plane scene where the plane
Wait,
starts
for
shaking.
that movie, I heard some people say it's Led Zeppelin. Would that be true?
Nobody knows.
It was
I asked Roger Glover this many
a
times. Was it
mystery,
Deep
right?
Purple? Yeah.
It's like one of the.
it's
Some
the Allman
people.
Brothers.
You think it's the Allman Brothers?
I think it's the Allman Brothers.
Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
And it's
Interesting.
crazy because the girl, what's her name in the movie? See if I can remember her
The
name.
Beatles song.
Wait.
Penny
Don't tell me.
Lane.
Penny Lane. Yeah, no, I read somewhere that might have been based on someone real. Amalgamation of so much real groupies of the time.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. That movie, I gotta give it a rewatch. That movie's amazing.
Oh, it's so
Cameron
amazing.
Crowe is a great director.
He really is, you know. Um, Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? 1967. Artwork alone, we talked about. It just, when you see that artwork,
Dream 60s and psychedelic.
your head goes, ow, ow, ow,
Oh, by the
ow,
way,
down,
tritone,
down.
bro.
What?
Tritone on the guitar. That is a tritone.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
double note.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Joe has it up. Look how beautiful that is. And dude, the font, it's so
It's a
psychedelic.
classic, you know. Um, the
Jimi Hendrix
most
guitar.
influential album in rock history, it supposedly is. From what I read, the guitar work is a blend of virtuistic lead, heavy blues, intricate rhythm work. It made this man sound like he was playing multiple guitars, the use of effects and feedback. This album introduced the greatest rock guitar player of all time. Skill, feel, feedback, power, great vocals, showmanship, in a great rhythm section. Mitch Mitchum with his jazzy, funky beats, and Noel Redding on bass. Now check out this. This is insane. 7 hits on the radio. Purple Haze, Manic Depression, Hey Joe, Wind Cries Mary, Fire, Foxy Lady, and Red House. So that fits my criteria, of like,
That album is so epic. So much songs on there. And dude, I feel like it's just so funny because I feel like Jimi Hendrix, first of all, I remember sixth grade. I remember listening to Purple Haze. I didn't even
yeah,
know who
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix was, but I remember that damn, wham, damn, wham, down, 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 wham. Talk about like
Yeah,
that. That is so six. Like it reminds me of the
yeah.
six. Like Jimi Hendrix was
Oh
in,
yeah.
in just the debut. He was already making a statement. It's
Oh yeah.
unbelievable. And also, to your point, years of jamming though, years of owning his craft, playing
Oh,
session.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Many years. So, there's my points. Years of playing and becoming a great player.
Oh,
Seven out of like, I think there's 8 songs on that album.
yeah.
7 of them radio. In the next hour, you're gonna hear one of them on the radio if you left it on. The Cars is 5. Boston is all 8. Jimi Hendrix is 7. Not this doesn't count digital radio. This is old school radio.
Right, right.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get
I,
a little
I
artsy.
don't know how they did it, Cheech, but they got 11 songs on this album.
Oh, 11? Oh
11.
wow. And at least 7 of the 11 made it to radio.
The songs are short.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, almost 4 minutes, 3 minutes. The longest song is Third Stone from the Sun,
Yeah.
6 minutes and 40 seconds.
And I've heard that on the radio. So I could be
I
wrong.
and I love third. That's actually one of my favorite third stone from the song because I love how like progressive and jazzy it sounds.
Yeah,
I
psychedelic.
love when Hendrix does that, the psychedelic, like jazzy.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite covers, "Hey Joe," is so good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then yeah, I agree. I choose with your criteria, and there's a rawness to this album.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
He gets better produced later on with Electric
Yeah.
Ladyland being his most well produced.
But
But
you're seeing my points that I was going
yeah,
with?
so if anything, I think this album meets most of your criteria to perfection. Could it
Yes.
be the greatest debut of all time, the greatest?
Ah,
It's up there.
it is. It really is. The next one, in the Court of the Crimson King.
Dude,
Manny talked
wait,
about it.
dude, no, I'll be honest, that matches your criteria perfectly. If
Okay.
anything, these two, maybe we could together come up with like maybe the greatest, but in the court of and by the way, we don't have any progressive picks. This is the only one.
Well,
Did it get radio airplay?
21st Century Schizoid Man, right?
yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
it was a minor hit.
One song. And what's so special about this album out of every albums that we mentioned?
Ready?
There's something really special.
I'm just gonna throw out there. Album cover.
Well, it's a great cover. No, but that's not what I'm going with.
Okay, Greg Lake.
Nope.
Robert Fripp.
Nope.
20% of Scoots Money being sampled by Kanye West.
Well, that's good, but nope. It's an EP. There's only 5 songs.
Is it officially considered an EP?
Well, it only has 5 songs, so they used to consider 5 songs an EP.
Hmm.
So it's an album, a debut album that has only 5 songs. That's an EP.
I will say though, for progressive rock genre, which I'm assuming us three have a love for, it's one of the only ones because the Genesis one is not. It's okay. The
Yeah,
Yes, it's okay. Maybe Jethro Tull, maybe, but I feel like later on they'll yeah, Pink Floyd's debut, Piper at the Gates of Dawn,
yeah,
totally different, not progressive, more psychedelic,
yeah.
childhood stuff there. Um, yeah, not much. Pink Floyd, again, no, trying to figure out of our favorite progressive rock bands.
Well, I got one more that you missed.
Hey, Cheech,
Yeah,
with King Crimson, how can it be an EP if it's 43 minutes long in
I,
length?
I was that's what I was saying. Are you sure?
yeah, because there's only 5 songs on it, but they're extremely long.
Dude, I don't think it's an EP, man. I think it's the
Well,
I mean,
think,
yes, with Relay would fall into the same category.
I mean, when you think of it, it only has 5 songs on it.
no, but
You
dude,
know,
but I don't think it's an EP.
I consider it an EP.
So Joe, this is Cheech's criteria.
So whenever there's 5 songs on an album, to me, it's like it's just it's
But
not
dude,
8.
it's
It's not.
progressive rock. They have that 10-minute song.
I don't know. I mean, it's
Dude,
still.
and just to King Crimson's point too, dude, the beginning. Down, 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 down,
Oh,
down,
definitely.
down,
Yeah.
and then the final song, in the chord of the Crimson, like every
And then
song,
you got
killer.
Epitaph.
Oh gosh,
I,
Moonchild,
I
progress,
Talk to the Wind, Moonchild. So yeah, 5 songs. I
beautiful.
mean, you can look at it like it's not an EP, but that's how. I mean, five
I don't
songs.
think it's an EP.
You
It's
know,
full length debut. Like,
I don't know.
GG.
Yeah, but
Wait a
it's
minute.
still
Wait, what about King Crimson's Red then? Isn't that an EP?
5 songs too.
There's only like yeah, 4 songs.
That's
Or
so
five.
true. That's interesting. There's only no. Is that 4 songs or five
I
songs
think
on
it's
Red?
only four.
I think it's five. I think it's five. Oh man, I don't know. But um, I'm gonna go quick now because I know I have. Um, Emerson, Lake and Palmer's first album. I think what made this album so
Oh
special was,
yeah, you're right. ELP's debut. I forgot what
I
them.
mean, like
Yeah.
when you think about it, I mean, we all know about ELP. We talked about him a million times. Keith Emerson's Jimi Hendrix of the keyboard. So that's what he's introducing. They're introducing a master keyboard player now, equivalent to Hendrix, um, with a great drummer and a great bass player with an amazing voice, Greg Lake. Um, and they're blending Bella Bartok classical pieces with jazz.
Hmm.
Nobody was doing that.
Yep.
The Canterbury scene was kind of doing that, but the Barbarian is Bella Bartek, the classical piece with that great bass distortion. The Three Fates, that's a concept, tank. Then you have Take a Pebble, and then the radio song, one hit really, Lucky Man, an acoustic song, beautiful lyrics, and then introducing the Moog
Mhm.
and revolutionizing the Moog sound, you know. Um, okay. Um, the Sex Pistols.
Never mind the Bullocks.
I mean, what could you say? They came out at a time when music needed it. Prague was dying, punk was coming up. The uniqueness of Johnny Rotten, Steve Jones' Wall of Sound guitar, um, you know, just like the songs,
Mhm.
Anarchy in the UK, God Save the Queen, Pretty Vegas. Every song is amazing. New York. And there's diss songs on here too. I think they invented the diss song. New York is a diss song towards CBGBs. EMI is a diss song since going against the label. Liar is a diss song going against Malcolm McLaren. So I mean they put punk on the English map.
Hmm.
I think it's an amazing one time album for them, and then they broke up.
Hmm.
I'm not going to get too crazy here. Sorry, I got more. Staying on the Prague theme, Asia.
Okay, all right. And talk about super group idea. Like, do they count? Whatever, but yeah.
But yeah, they're a super group, but that album was genius.
Mm.
I mean, super group. Every song told a story. Amazing musicianship. Um, what were the songs I had written down there? Heat of the Moment, Only Time Will Tell, Soul Survivor, Here Comes That Feeling, all played on the radio. Heat of the Moment, iconic song.
What's the chorus line? I am a soul survivor,
Survivor, solitary.
solitary fighter.
I
Oh
mean,
man.
think about it. They have the criteria of four hit songs, super musicians in the band,
Mhm.
putting everything into a pop context, radio friendly, arena rock almost kind of vibe. So I'll move forward. Um, all right, you're gonna like this. Going back to punk, the Ramones' first album.
Mhm.
It just a Blitzkrieg Bop. I want to be your boyfriend. Chainsaw, Let's Dance, a cover. They put that raw New York punk uh, on the map.
Mhm.
And then the other one from some of the CBGB's area, Marquee Moon
Yeah.
Television. You know, they brought that artistic jazz avant-garde sound with lyrics influenced by French poetry. Okay. Now, my favorite two albums, I think that are the greatest debut albums of all time. Jaco Pastorius' first solo album.
Mm.
He innovated the bass guitar, lightning fast bebop rips, complex chords, harmonics, funk grooves, all done on a fretless bass. He blends jazz, fusion, bebop, and funk music, orchestral arrangements. Had people like Wayne Shorter, who's a famous jazz pianist, David Sanborn, Michael Brecker, Lenny White, all these famous jazz guys, Sam and Dave, the old soul singers. Some tracks on that, Come On, Come Over. It's a funky song with lyrics. Donna Lee, it's a take on Charlie Parker's song. He plays the melody on bass. Portrait of Tracy, he does a solo with harmonics. Continuum, it's a melodic, spacey track. And the bass sounds like a voice. And he has a great album cover. It's just so cheesy. It's just his face on the cover, like, you know. The next one, the greatest debut album of all time is Boston's first album.
Mm.
Production. Tom Schultz invented the Rockman, which is a little pedal that sounds like a Marshall stack because he went to MIT, and he invented a sound. He gave that the sound of Boston. Um, I mean, more than a feeling, peace of mind. A four-play long time rock and roll band smoking, hitch a ride, something about you, let me take you home tonight. Every single song has been played on the radio.
Mm.
I've heard every one. I'm a witness to that. So to me, that makes this, in my book, the greatest debut album of all time. So any thoughts on that, Joe?
Good list. I
Thank you.
mean, Jocko, I think is what do you call it? Not a guilty pleasure, but it's just something that you love. You know,
Yeah, because it's a bass player's solo album,
Mm.
and Jocko is innovative. He's Jimi Hendrix now. He's Eddie Van Halen. He's doing something nobody did on the bass,
Mm.
and he's doing all kinds of stuff with it: funk, jazz, Latin. He's reinventing music with some of the greatest musicians in the world. you know.
Yeah.
So
You'd made a suggestion about the documentary that Robert Trujillo from
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Metallica financed about Jocko, and
yeah.
it's unfortunate it was on Netflix and it's been removed from Netflix.
Right.
So I can't stream it at this time, but I wanted to.
Prime, I think it might be on.
I'll check it out again.
Yeah, check Prime out. What a shame. They got to take the greatest
Net
bass player in the
Netflix
world.
always does that. As soon as something's good, they take it down.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a rotation, I'm sure.
Yeah,
They
no,
didn't
no, I'm
drop
just
this
joking.
Well,
amount. They have some
It's
Prime,
a
big.
joke.
you might have to buy it for like $3 on Prime.
Is it worth every $8?
Oh, oh yeah, it's worth $3. Definitely.
That's a great list, though. But yeah, but dude, great list, man.
Yeah, I
I
really.
think right now, instead of counting, I think we mentioned our top 10 just because now we're heading to 2 hours and a half, I
Well,
think.
let me just throw this at Joe really quick.
Go ahead, good. Well, I was gonna say like yeah, Boston debut. I think is one of the greatest. I'll fight you on that one with the Beatles. Please, please me. Where
Yeah,
they number one. Every song was almost a hit. Like a lot of number ones. Anyway,
yeah,
maybe you and I can debate that, but
and that's a good point. I know. So Joe, how about this? And I'm just gonna run through the list. One hit wonders with only one song that was a hit. Could you name any bands?
First one that comes to mind is My Sharona
Oh,
by
that's number one on
yeah.
the list.
Really?
Number one on my list. Yep.
Actually, I had that album, and there was another song on it I thought was pretty good. It was called Frustrated.
Yeah, there's I wonder why only that song, My Sharona,
Is,
1979
is that
became a hit.
album any good?
It's great. I love the album. Yeah. Um, then there's Ram Jam, Black Betty, 1977.
The album
Wild,
cover kind of looks like Jocko's.
yeah. Wild Cherry, Play That Funky Music. The Laws, There She Goes. You mentioned Iron Butterfly in a Guide to Vita, one hit wonder. Big Country, the band big from the 80s, Big Country, Big Country.
Mhm.
Modern English, I'll Stop the World and Melt with You. Wheatus, Teenage Dirtbag. The Bungles, Video Killed a Radio Star. And a band called King Harvest, who I love,
Mm,
Dancing in the
yeah,
Moonlight.
that's one of the best ones on that list.
So I just wanted to throw that in, that there are debut albums that only one hits and they went away. So, yeah. Um, shit. What do I have here? Okay.
Was that the surprise?
Yeah,
My Sharona.
yeah. That was a surprise. So do you want to pick our top five, or I honestly I'm gonna have a hard time with a top five.
No, I think from our list, the greatest. So I think you said yours,
Yeah,
Boston. I said
yeah,
mine. Please, please me, because that's all the elements, the criteria that you mentioned.
yeah,
Joe, the top. What do you think, Joe, on your list? Like best. This is the greatest, greatest now.
Van Halen.
Yeah, yeah. And when you think about it, those are such great picks because you have, and going in order, the Beatles, Please, Please Me in the 60s,
yeah.
literally inspiring, you know, the British invasion and rock
Mhm.
groups.
I would put Hendrix too in there, going from the Beatles
Right,
to
but you
Jimi
didn't pick it, but
Hendrix.
you didn't put it on your list.
I did.
You
Yeah.
gotta take out Boston. Move him.
No, Boston is the greatest one.
And if anything, you should have put Jimi Hendrix. Or one of us should have.
No, no, but Boston is the greatest debut album because every song was played on the radio, like the
No,
Beatles.
that's your criteria then. Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, I definitely see that. Okay, so anyway, so Beatles, please, please me, Boston's, and finally I'm sorry, Van Halen. These are usually top among the top 10 in debut rock lists. So
yeah,
just we could write a whole essays about each of these albums, and I think it pretty goes to show you that we're on the same page with a lot of our lists and a few surprises here and there.
yeah, definitely.
You,
Well, this is a
Jocko, it's pretty surprising. No,
well,
not surprising in terms of like it's amazing because yeah, it makes sense because Jacko's debut is for bass players.
There's nothing like it. You know, it's a debut album and it fits. I mean, we're doing rock, so I kind of swayed away, but it fits the category of innovation on the debut album. You know, it's like he innovated the bass. Nobody ever did that on one instrument, like you know, like the bass.
Can I make honorable mention just because I'm remembering it? And I'm surprised none of us mentioned it. So along with Kate Bush, Carole King's Tapestry.
That's a debut album.
Yeah, I think is it? Oh no, scratch it. Nope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nope.
It's not. It's not.
Never mind. But it seems like it because there are other albums. Never mind.
Because there's a million hits on it,
No,
right?
no,
You
no. And
know.
she did have an album before. We just that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My wife actually said to me, "What about Fleetwood Mac?" And I said, "Well, which Fleetwood Mac?"
yeah,
Peter
Peter
Green.
Yeah,
Green. Yes.
you can't.
Peter Green was great. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
I was
know. I
gonna
don't remember
say
what.
that we missed his debut. One of us should have put it on. Of
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for Americans, Fleetwood Mac didn't start for us until it was Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks in the band.
course.
People forget that Peter Green was absolutely incredible guitarist.
He always had Mick Fleetwood and John McVie in the band. Those are
Yeah,
the
No.
two
And,
main members.
and 1968's Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac should have been in one of our lists in terms of iconic debut and the fact that just fun fact, I'm pretty sure it's this album, but yeah, no, it's their take on the blues, and yeah, Peter Green is an insane guitarist. I mean,
Oh yeah, one of the
very
best.
mysterious that he disappeared, but, not
Well,
really, but
we know why, you know.
yeah, mental health issues and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not Fleetwood Mac with Depends, not the one that with
Mm,
when Lindsay and Stevie comes in, they totally just changed it.
yeah.
They can soft rock. Fixed it.
Yeah. A complete 180 from what they once were,
Yeah.
you know. Like Foxtrot to you know, Easy Lover, whatever.
Well, not even like if you listen to Genesis debut, it's so lame. Like I don't like it. It's just
Yeah.
not it.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't have put that on there, you
No.
know. But yeah, this was a great episode, man. Nice and long. We haven't had a long one like this in a while. You know, on we got in depth on a really interesting topic, I think. This was a really cool topic
Yeah.
to dive deep into.
And I think Cheech, use your criteria. I
Yeah.
think uh our greatest picks meet it.
Yeah. Yeah. Our
So
individual picks made my
so
criteria.
they
Yeah.
make good criteria. Yeah.
Yeah. And that criteria doesn't fit for every album. No,
And
it's
the
not
only
going to
thing that
fit
we're
for the next.
missing is that none of us put Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced. And let me add, why did I didn't see, you know, it's funny. I wasn't a Hendrix fan first. The Beatles had more of an influence me that actually made me want to start a band, like if I could. So
Yeah.
that's my reason. But yeah, what are you curious? Why you guys not Hendrix?
If I had to pick one, if I had to pick three, it would be, you know, Jocko would be second and Hendrix would be third. But I picked Boston because every single song is a radio song.
Hmm.
Hendrix didn't have that. He didn't have every song that he wasn't played on the radio. And to me, that's what makes a great album. But and there's way much more that goes into Boston's great album. Brad Delp's voice, the lyrics,
Yeah.
the production, the sound, the Rockman invention. Tom Schultz is a fucking musical
Uh,
genius.
I think you would agree with this. I feel like Boston invented AOR rock, like
Yep.
not invented, but they literally like I feel like we wouldn't have Journey, like
And look when they came out in '76, in the middle of like no man's land. You know,
yeah.
punk was new music's coming out, disco and punk. But you know, a lot of the rock and roll dinosaurs. You know,
And American back on the scene because
yeah.
the British were taking over with punk,
Oh yeah. Punk
progressive rock.
rock. Prague ruled for 6 years,
Yeah,
so now America came back.
and titled themselves Boston.
Yeah, and
Kind of
great
funny,
artwork.
kind of funny how American bands named Kansas or like
Right? Yeah,
now
yeah.
laugh.
That's awesome. But yeah, man, this was a great episode. Joe, thank you so much, man. You had some great picks, Joe. Manny, I loved your picks. I love the
Yeah,
Kate Bush. I love when you guys talk about Kate Bush because like I got to go and listen to her
Yeah.
more, you know.
yeah, yeah. Did we
But
come to an agreement that Annika Nilles is our artist of the
yeah,
month for March?
she's the artist of the month.
She's
Yeah.
an example of the best is yet to come. You heard it
Yes.
here first, Cheech. You're gonna love it.
I'm
You're gonna, you know why
gonna
you're
love
gonna
it.
love it? You're gonna love it because you're gonna see Alex and Glee smiling and enjoying themselves playing Russian
Yeah.
music.
Cheech is the one that needs to see to believe.
No, no, I wish them the best, you know, with her. I think she's gonna do a great job.
Yeah. And it's funny, no, definitely artist of the month for March because we have an episode on it, Joe. Yeah, we have a reaction video.
A while back we did a
Well,
reaction
I'll
video.
link it because yeah,
Yeah.
because Joe said his piece. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna buy my ticket soon.
Yeah.
But we're at a good price, 300, I think, or whatever. So
Yeah.
uh, we'll see what happens. But I'm so curious to see what they do with Anika Niles and that keyboard player dude.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. You know, glad to see Getty and Al are happy. It's all that matters.
Geez, your face reveals everything.
No, you know, I mean, uh, you know, Neil is irreplaceable, but like I feel
Impressive.
bad for I feel bad for them. It's like I don't want to be doom and gloom, but let's just say like you're a kid, right? Your dad dies. You know, your mom remarries, and that's Annika Niles.
He's gonna be more revealing, dude. Yeah. Well, it's funny. So she's our artist of the month because
She
yeah,
is, she
we
is.
have our hopes in her. I think.
And watch her videos because they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Manny was telling me, yeah,
So yeah, and then I'll CC that video just so Annika Niles officially the artist of the month on the Cheech and Manny Show.
definitely. But again, great show, guys. Joe, thank you for your knowledge and
Thank you, Joe. And I
all
always
the
love how you have
pictures
the
and stuff.
albums. That's always great
Oh, you
addition.
make the
He
visuals,
actually
man.
has the albums. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Thank you, guys.
amazing.
It was fun.
Yeah, this is a good one. Then I'm gonna start working on the post Zeppelin stuff,
Yeah.
like the Firm and Stormcock. That's gonna be a tough one to write, but I gotta work on that. I gotta talk to Mr. Black about that.
But you're not
And
going to touch Robert Plant's burning down one side.
uh, I am, but
Pictures at 11. I'm sorry. It was pictures at 11. Burning down one side.
yeah, no pictures at 11. I'm from. It's where he's. It's
Right.
all white. It's white, and he's like on the cover.
Yeah.
He's, he's on the cover. He's smoking a cigarette, leaning up against the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I'm more familiar. I'm familiar with that album, but I'm more familiar with like the Firm I played out like as a
Okay.
kid. So I want to do the Firm first because
So
I know
you
that I'm a
because we
little
could
bit
fill up
more.
all the time with Roy Harper segueing into the Firm.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Whatever happened to Drugula? Important album.
yeah, we could talk about that too. We could do like we could segue into the Firm
Mhm.
with those two albums. So
Yeah, it sounds like a multiple part episode. It
yeah,
sounds to me.
yeah, but great episodes, guys. And look forward to doing more episodes, Joe. And Nanu, and these are all. I mean, there's so many albums we talked about. It has to be
Yeah,
what, like 30 albums?
I
Is it?
think a lot. Let's show you debut.
Covered a lot of debut albums. We
Rock has a
covered a
lot of
lot.
debuts. Yeah.
And if you count the one hit wonders like the Knack and all the other ones I mentioned, Big Country, it's like 40 albums and stuff. So, but
Mm.
all right, guys. Thank you, Mr. Black, for coming up with this and then the metal table. I've been talking about this for a while, and we've been talking about doing it. I'm glad it's done. So have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Good night.
All right. Good night,
All
Joe.
right,
Thanks again.
guys. Joe, thanks again for coming on. Nanu. If you made
I
it this
knew.
far, subscribe, like this video, comment below what you think of our picks. And then,
And
guys, we'll see you in the next.
go to the Facebook page.
Oh, yeah. I'll link that too at the bottom. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Awesome. All right.
Nanu. Until the next one.
Take
Good
care.
night.